Hello, and welcome to the very special Arn and Eddie New Year's edition. I am Eddie Sideburns, has joined, whipping and hollering already, is Arn Brackets Furious. How you doing today, Arn?
Brackets, furious, close brackets, to give me
Close
my full
brackets
name.
Furious. Yep. How you doing? You all right?
I'm very, very tired. Ready to roll.
Ready to rock and or roll. I say
Orange
joining
juice.
us. Yeah, if I'm wondering what's in your drink already. Joining us for the first time. Oh,
It is a
Northern.
Northern Monk Faith in Futures DDH IPA.
I just thought you were having a mimosa. I thought you were that fruity. I was like, ooh,
If only.
if only. Joining us.
Maybe later.
Maybe later. And I'll try to introduce our guest now. Joining us is young Mr. Oliver Court. Oliver, how are you doing?
All right, lads. It's good to be on the Eddie and Arn experience finally.
Fantastic.
Let me just kick you off here.
He said it rolls off the tongue better than Arn and Eddie, and I'm not going to agree.
But then Arn and Eddie also looks better in the logo, I would say.
That is
Sort of
true, I guess.
Slanty action going on.
And we still
know.
we still look very good in those avatars, as we do now. Oh, there he is.
Oh my.
This, I'll be honest, we do have some stuff to talk about, but if we're really being honest, we're just here to chat and maybe do some quizzes and stuff and see how we all doing, because we were supposed to do a podcast before I left to go to Chicago, and then that didn't happen.
I'm going to put my hand up here and say that's my fault. I just completely forgot about it.
Blame him, yes. And when I came back from Chicago, I contracted COVID, so you can blame me for that one. But yeah, we're back. Domi. I don't know why I said Dome.
Mr.
It's
Dome.
his name. Mr. Dome is in the chat. Lovely to see him as always. So Ollie, let's talk a little bit about Formula One.
All right.
Because
we
can
do this.
We covered the Formula One season quite a bit. Not too much.
We're just getting Ollie's takes on Formula One, just so we really upset Dommy.
It's playing to the audience very much.
We've only got. I'm assuming we only have one viewer at the moment, so
it's early.
We're playing
dedicated young man.
We're playing to the gallery. So it all came down to one final race.
It did.
Michael Massey decided, throw that rulebook out of here, and let's get some.
Who cares about the rules?
Yeah.
It's boring. Yeah, it was a tremendously exciting event. It was a very exciting moment. And entertainment won out. I think we can all agree.
Sports entertainment won.
It was sports entertainment at its finest.
Over actual race.
Why would you want it?
Was it not Reed Hastings that is responsible for these the conclusion of the season?
Who?
Reed Hastings.
Reed Hastings.
The guy that owns Netflix.
Ah. And there's also like Chase Carey, the guy with the mustache, is the owner of Formula One now, and he's an American, so they love manufacturing excitement. But it's also the way it was the whole season long, so I don't think you can get too mad about it happening in the finale when it happened at basically every other race throughout the whole season.
Definitely gotten mad about it.
I know.
Justice for Lewis thing going on Twitter.
But yeah,
the question in this economy.
The question is, did the right driver win? And if you look at it over the course of the amount of races,
no.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
We may not all. We may. Oh, Chase Carey is gone.
We've got an immediate fact checker. It's like playing Papers, Please when the little guy walks on and the little ticket comes up and tells you you're wrong.
Yeah, you've been done there, mate.
An
Right
Arn
away.
Eddie podcast in this economy. Hello, Rogie. Yeah, we're very
Rogie to
poor.
you, Alan.
We just want to see everyone, I guess. But yeah, I think over the course of the races, Verstappen deserved to win. There was a lot of kind of back and forth, and
Mm.
I'm not
I
saying
think
he didn't deserve to win. It just either of them could have won. It just felt a bit
the right
icky.
person won.
Yeah. I mean, he deserved to win if you look at it over the course of 22 races, but in that one race, he very much did not deserve to win, and Hamilton
no.
got completely screwed. But that, again, it's all part of the fun, and it's not like Verstappen didn't get screwed at multiple rounds previously, so, you know, it all balances out.
I think one of my questions would be, in terms of race director and the commentary and the kind of communication with them, should the likes of Toto Wolff and Christian Horner be kind of trying to tell Michael Massey what to do?
Yeah, again, it all comes down to, like, entertainment, doesn't it? Like, who knows if that was going on in years previous, but they've really ramped it up since Drive to Survive and, like, wanting to get the material for that.
Yeah, we want that coverage. We want total coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but I think the Saudi Arabia moment where they were literally like bargaining Verstappen's grid place was definitely over the line and not what should be. That's a very bad precedent to be setting. That they can literally just go, "What's in this box?"
You can
to
have
determine
Ocon.
the grid.
We want Ocon. we want Ocon starting first. We'll take anything after that, but we want Ocon starting first. I still don't think. Yeah, like as I say, me and Domi had this conversation on
Team Chefs.
Team Chefs.
Cooking up some delicious controversy.
I just don't think Toto Wolff should be telling Michael Massey that they shouldn't have a safety car. That's like a football manager coming up to a ref and going, "Don't use VAR on that. Don't use VAR.
Yeah.
Don't use VAR." And I had this conversation with Domi, and he said it's not the same. But we move on. I love Domi so much.
Who's hosting the podcast now?
If you wanted Formula One to be more exciting, then there you go.
And there are other motorsport series.
Down to the last lap. Like, what's not to love about that? I mean, I know that the fans of Lewis Hamilton out there will be bitterly disappointed, but at the same time, it was a good laugh. You know, it was a great season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what the problem is in terms of an entertainment. But are you not entertained? Who cares about the
exactly? Yeah, this is modern day Colosseum.
Oh, hang on.
You can just throw if you want to throw a tiger in, you could just you know.
Yeah.
Latifi accident was definitely a safety car.
Basically, Nick Latifi, kingmaker, because like if he hadn't have driven into the wall, like an idiot, then
I don't think he had a choice in whether he went into the wall.
I think he did, because he drove the other 60 odd laps without driving into the wall. I felt like he chose to drive into the wall just to see what would happen.
He was doing a favor to Mick Schumacher, so that you know Michael's record wasn't broken. Clearly. Do
you think Hamilton will come back next year?
Yeah, I think he's already. I think it's pretty clear he'll come back.
I'd be surprised if he didn't, but also not massively surprised if he did just go away forever.
I mean, he's
go do his Hollywood career.
He's got, he's going to take, it's going to sting and it's going to hurt for quite some time. But, I don't think he's got. I think Toto will just tell him get number 8 this time and then probably go out.
I don't know if like in his head he was thinking, I'll do one last season this year and win the title, break Schumacher's record, and then I can retire. Yeah. And now he's annoyed because he's got to put up with this bullshit for the race that goddamn Verstappen.
Yeah. Now he's got to deal
He's got to race his own teammate,
Yeah.
His own teammate is a major threat to him next season. And that'll be the reason for. Well, I mean, also next year the cars are going to be entirely different, and the grid might very well be shaken up to a significant degree, like in 2009. So that will be interesting to see, like what the pecking order is among the teams. Because I mean, not only will it be very different in round one, but it will also shift over the course of the season.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see how the different teams adapt to the rules and who ends up in the fastest car, because that's what it's all about.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think Haas will probably not have the fastest car. I'll put that out there.
I mean,
it would be quite the turn up for the books if Haas came out balling next year. But strange things have happened.
Yeah, I think Alexander Albon in the Williams will be quite interesting to see how he does there. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season for sure. But yeah, let's quickly move away from Formula One.
Let's get to what we're really here to talk about.
Let's get to what we're here to talk about. The Simpsons, of course. That's why we brought you on here.
Anyone was expecting us to stay on like sporting topics. It's not.
This is going to be a wacky show.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. We're going to be live.
We'll mention some stuff, but we're not going fully into like sports.
I have a Dundee United shirt on.
I love you already for that. You know that. I just cannot see them play football in person. Otherwise, I'll feel like I'm
you're a bundle of nerves.
It was a game against Ross County, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's Ross County. Oh, bollocks to me.
Well, fuck it. Yeah, we're not getting money out of this one. Right. I want to kind of talk about what was the first Simpsons episode you guys ever saw. Do you remember?
Well, I remember I had a few like videos of the Simpsons, like not homemade, like bought in the shop, and they each had like 4 episodes on them. One was Simpsons Murder Mysteries, which had Cape Fear.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I remember the tape. I can't remember. Yeah. I know it's definitely episodes that I've seen a lot. So Cape Fear, I've seen. Yeah,
the series 3 Sideshow Bob one where he marries Selma. I can't remember the name of the episode.
I can search that while you talk.
And then Selma. The 2 Who Shot Mr. Burns episodes. That was a very good VHS to own.
Black Widower.
Yeah,
Black Widower. That's the one. Yeah.
I think mine is probably it was Bart Sells His Soul. I thought that was one of the first ones.
Oh, that's one of my favorites actually. That would definitely be in my top 10. Bart Sells His Soul.
And when I was traveling to Chicago, I downloaded a couple of Simpsons episodes that I wanted to watch because they're on Disney Plus. And I watched. Well, that was one of the ones I watched. I just remember how good that was, and it's like you see the difference of how Simpsons episodes are now to how they are then.
Just the rambling hobo played by I think it's Dan Castellaneta, who just got in the booth and just went for like 5 minutes straight about ranting about like the government being able to see inside his own eyes. Like I wish there was just like a YouTube trimming of that take. And also the mad street cleaner who cleans up Bart's bike when it falls in the street and like makes it brand spanking new, but then he rides it for 2 seconds and it falls apart and he's just giddily going and then he falls down the subway. That's some incredible bits, and also I just cry every time at the ending where he swims into the weird paradise world. Or not swims, rows into the paradise world. It's a beautiful episode. Sorry, Ed.
No, it's fine.
Soul and Bart's soul to row him across to the island.
Yeah,
I like Bart's just rowing on his own.
I like how in the beginning where they're doing the In the Garden of Eden and that woman's like still going on, and like dun, 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 and then bang head.
In the Garden of Eden by I. Ron Butterfly.
Like, there's just certain moments, so it's like I watched the movie again, and there's obviously they have Green Day appear in the movie, and they end up getting murdered because like the town of Springfield throw rocks at them, and their barge ends up just sinking, and they all drown. And then they cut to the church where they're doing the Green Day funeral, and the woman's playing American Idiot on the organ. And it's just one of those things, I don't know why, I just couldn't stop laughing. And it's like, there's just certain bits like, anytime that Kent Brockman or like Artie Pie in the Sky appear in like Simpsons episodes, I love it.
Kent Brockman is at his very best when he's completely freaking out live on the air. And I think that has to be encapsulated by Deep Space Homer when Homer smashes into the ant colony and all the ants are like piling out into the weightless environment, and one floats past the camera when Kent's like trying to like go to the live feed, and then he's bowing down to our insect overlords.
I, for one, welcome our insect overlords. Oh, who would you say is your who would what? Sorry,
sending people down the mines to mine sugar cane. I think was I can't remember the line.
Who would you say is your favorite kind of like character that kind of is a recurring character in terms of The Simpsons? I'll start with Ollie first.
Well, my favorite two characters are the two authority figures in Bart and Homer's life, so Mr. Burns and Principal Skinner. I'd say Mr. Burns is my absolute favorite character, and like literally, like I'd literally say ahoy hoy to people just in my daily occurrences. Like it's horrible.
Hans Moleman shout out from
I think I like when they try to go into. I think Smithers tries to go on his computer and it's Mr. Burns is like, "Hello, Smithers, you are
quite good at turning me on."
And I was also watching the Armin Tamzarian episode of on The Simpsons, and
the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
I think it was going before that, but
yeah.
Well, like you were having a conversation with me about the difference in the animation, weren't you? And it was like, when did it change again, Arn?
Start of season 4, they switched from Klasky Zuppo, who made like children's cartoons, to Film Roman, who like made good cartoons. And, like so, it goes from like some of the background characters being a bit of a mess to like everything being like nice. And like everybody's on brand in the background and stuff.
Yeah, there's no people who look like the Simpsons in the background. I know that was a big thing for Matt Groening. Like people with like Lisa hair in the background.
Yeah, none of that. But I was saying to Eddie, like I felt that the show became a little bit too sanitized eventually. So it was like you get to see the same thing all the time, and it's like it's not as much fun. But when they first started doing it, it was like it's clean and crisp, and this is like bang on compared to what they were doing before. So that's like peak Simpsons, is like when they hit that level where everything looks great, but the episodes are still funny, to the point where they jump the shark and start doing stupid things like Bart getting an elephant. And that's the point at which it just kind of goes again. So it's a sweet spot. It's about 3 years. But like the episodes in there are like almost all of them are like gold.
Yeah, and it's like I was going to ask. I've sent something to you, Arn, in the thing to have a look at, which will be the first quiz of probably our day. What's the best celebrity cameo you would say the Simpsons had, as far as you guys are concerned?
I am torn between Dustin Hoffman. For the episode with Lisa, with the you are Lisa Simpson on the
Lisa substitute, Mr. Bergstrom.
Yeah, because that was like properly moving, and it was like the first time that they really hit that emotional high. And Michelle Pfeiffer, who was Mindy Simmons.
Oh, Mindy.
Yeah, that episode, incidentally, that's easily in my top 5. The Last Temptation of Homer. It's so good. Like the whole episode is absolutely fantastic, but like she's really good.
Hubba.
she's really good at like being the perfect woman for Homer, and obviously not in the end, because you can't do that. It's a faux pas.
You can't. Yeah. What about yourself, Ollie?
Mine would obviously be the 9 baseball players who are Mr. Burns' ringers for his company softball team. Can we Jose Canseco, Mike Sosha, Daryl Strawberry, Ozzie Smith, Steve Sachs.
Yep.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Oh, he got gigantism, didn't he? That was unfortunate.
We're talking Homer.
Wade Boggs.
Yep.
Roger Clemens on the mound.
Yes.
And
he's a chicken.
First baseman is obviously.
I thought I told you to shave those.
Why can I not remember his name? Don Mattingly.
Yeah. Don Mattingly.
There we go. There's the 9. They are the best. That's it's so amazing that like sports stars would be willing to be sent up in that way. Like you compare that obviously to Lisa Goes Gaga, where Lady Gaga turns up and is just like amazing and like a goddess and can do nothing wrong. And like you could imagine if like LeBron James turned up in The Simpsons now and he'd be like perfect and
I've got
completely flawless.
I've got 2 of them. Rupert Murdoch in the Super Bowl episode, because I just find that one hilarious, and Leonard Nimoy in Marge versus the Monorail.
Yes, that is
the cosmic ballet goes on. Does somebody want to switch seats?
Looks like my work here is done. What do you mean you didn't do anything? Did I? Ah, so good. So
if I could dematerialize right now, I would to complete the quote. But
that's how we'll cut you out of the. That's how we'll cut you out of the episode. So I've got a Sporcle quiz that I sent Arn.
Yes.
So we're gonna do that.
Are we? Okay.
This will be fun. Because we're gonna have to use our brain power and whoever is in the comments, which seems to only be Domi.
Hi, Domi.
So let's have a look at this.
100 recurring characters from The Simpsons by number of episodes with dialogue, seasons 1 to 26.
We're gonna have to work hard here, boys. I also think, because I forgot that like Phil Hartman would be cast as a guest star. His character.
I feel like he's kind of semi-regular because he was in a lot as Lionel Hutz. So there's a lot of Lionel Hutz episodes, all of them good.
And Troy McClure.
You may remember him from The President's Neck is Missing.
Right.
I don't have it. I need to learn some like go-to Troy McClure.
My favorite one is The President's Neck is Missing.
We have a request for someone to come in and join us.
Get me in there. Okay.
Let's get him in, and then we'll get this started.
I need to.
Have you? I was going to say the episodes with Gil, the salesman, in them. There's I think it's a more recent episode, but there's one where he ends up living with the Simpsons for quite some time. And I enjoy that one because it's like you really try to feel sorry for Gil, but then you remember like he's just an absolute leech.
Yeah, he kind of was almost like a latter introduction into the series.
I think he's not in it until like 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah. But he's a really good character, really good recurring character.
I will quickly ask a question while we're waiting for Domi. Favorite Halloween horror episode?
Oh, Treehouse Horror.
Charlie Church segment.
You can do segment and also one if you feel we all have a good
Trying to
episode.
think of some of the segments.
My favourite segment is the bang, 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 bang. Keyboard's so loud, man.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everybody listening.
Ollie will not be rejoining us for any episodes to take.
It's because it's right underneath the microphone. Is the problem.
It's fine. You're fine.
Yeah, the one. I think it's Terror. I can't remember the height, but Terror at like X.5 feet, and it's
Terror at 5.5 feet.
5.5 feet. Yeah, and it's the one where Bart's on the school bus, and there's something on the wing, and it's the gremlin, and the gremlin, the car is driven by Hans Moleman as well. So like when he's saying to Otto, "There's a gremlin out," and it's like it's Hans Moleman driving the gremlin. And Otto like runs him off the road.
And they nudge him off. It literally just nudges the tree and the car explodes.
Of course it is.
Everything explodes in The Simpsons.
Yeah. I think there's the one where the Ned is the devil. And
Isn't that I think that's in the same episode as.
I think so. Yeah.
At 5.5 feet.
Yeah, it's the devil and Homer Simpson, and he makes him eat all the donuts.
Yeah, and they're just kind of piling them into his mouth. He's like, more.
Yeah,
have all the donuts in the world.
It's like just like a conveyor belt.
There is like a model of that I really want.
So that would be Treehouse of Horror IV with the Devil and Homer Simpson, Terror at 5.5 feet, and Bart Simpson's Dracula.
I would say my favorite is The Shinning from next year's one.
He's got the shinning, lad. It's just Groundskeeper Willie. There's that one where Groundskeeper Willie also acts like Freddy Krueger. Is it Freddy Krueger?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be.
I'm wondering if that's the same one.
Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, I believe.
Yeah. Nightmare Cafeteria. I like that one as well. Where it's like
It's like Uta is inside all of us.
Oh, right. Are we? Is Domi taking his sweet ass time? Then I take it.
Yeah, he's in the waiting room.
Okay.
So, Ollie, what's your all-time favorite Simpsons episode? What's number one?
I mean, oof. Can I say like 5 episodes?
Yeah.
In an order that needs to have a 1.
Okay, so I would say my number 1 is probably Flaming Moe's, because the story is just incredible.
I always thought I had like a warped point of view of that because I just love Aerosmith, so I just really fondly because of that. But also Tipsy McStagger.
Tipsy McStagger. It was also on one of my videos as well as a little kid, so that helps. But Home of the Heretic, I would say, is well up there. Last Exit to Springfield is probably the funniest episode.
I'd say, yeah. I think Last Exit to Springfield is probably my number 1. And it's because everything about that episode is so good. Like, so good. It's the one where Homer Simpson ends up as the union boss. So that's got the Lisa needs braces. Dental plan.
Is that the one where he gets beaten up by you too? Or is that a different one?
Oh, no, that's well into the future.
Oh, okay.
He wins, and Mr. Burns is like, I'm going to make a deal and give you back your dental plan, but you have to resign as head of the union. And he starts running around in a circle, like lying down
on the floor. That is some incredible animation.
I may have listened
to make that make sense.
May have misjudged the bargaining skills of Homer Simpson.
I would probably say this. There's part of me that wants to say the Springfield Files, but there's also part of me that does want to say the one I mentioned with no. Do you know what? I'll go with Marge versus the monorail. I just
strong
like
choice.
The
song is the best song they ever did, and they did a lot of amazing songs.
Yeah. I also like the Mr. Plow one as well. I do like the Mr. Plow. There's some really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mr. Plow as well as Bart the Lover, Homer at the Bat.
Controversially, I don't think Mr. Plow is that good. I think it has good times. I don't think it's consistently that good. I think it's up there, but it's not like a. I wouldn't give it like a 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
I would put one other one. I would say is the one where the prohibition comes back in.
Yeah.
Homer versus the 18th Amendment.
18th Amendment. I love that one. Rex Banner.
Rex Banner. I'll get you.
And Rex he's shouting out, "I'll get you, Beer Baron." No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Hello, Ivan. Welcome in as we end up talking. Marge versus Itchy and Scratchy is a pretty fun one too. There's also a good one with Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie.
There's so many good episodes. Like, we're just going to end up.
We could.
Right. Let's
go forever.
Let's get Damien.
in. Here he is.
Is he there? Oh, he is
Mr.
there.
Philip Dome. There he
He's
is.
sleeping just because he was looking down like this. Right.
When Domi is not broadcasting, he is in power down mode.
You're in energy saving mode at the moment.
Stand by.
He's in standby.
German efficiency mode is about to come out when we do this 15-minute quiz. Right. Welcome in, Domi. We'll ask
I may tag out halfway through and leave Domi to sweep up the pieces. But
Listen, there might be a little problem considering I've always watched it on German, as I am German. So you know they might have changed some names here. For example, Hans Mollmann is not Hans Mollmann in German. He's the Maulwurfmann, which only translates back to Mollmann. You know, he doesn't have a first name anymore in German.
That's sad. Well, I will ask before we get this started, Domi, what is your favorite episode of The Simpsons?
It's probably the one with Poochie, because you know whenever Poochie's not on screen, we should all talk about Poochie.
Yep, we should all talk about
Poochie. Something a certain wrestling company years later booked as well was a certain wrestler.
Keiji Muto?
Sure.
How is that old man going still? And he's in a... Oh, never mind. I'm going to go into too much of a rant about that New Japan Noah card, so let's quickly move on. Right. We have 50 minutes. We need to get 100 characters.
Homer Simpson.
Arn, take us away. Let's start this, obviously, with the simplest ones.
There we go.
Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, Marge, Maggie.
Maggie doesn't have any.
Magaggie.
13.
She does have lines. She does.
She's got a couple.
Oh, they need to have lines. Okay.
Yeah, they need to have lines.
Yeah.
Oh, Skinner gives you both Seymour and Agnes Skinner. That's interesting.
Santa's little helper has woof.
Snowball.
Snowball doesn't have any lines. Meow.
Yeah,
Oh wow, these are like hidden ones.
You got a meow.
That's crazy.
Okay, Ralph Wiggum.
Mr. Burns.
You got 2 Wiggums. Well, technically 3, but Sarah doesn't have enough lines.
Yeah.
The Van Houtens.
Yes, of course. Can I spare a feeling?
How? Oh, you got all 3 in 1.
Hey!
3 in 1.
Let's just name last names.
It's interesting that Millhouse is like the 6th highest.
Well,
he's Bart's best friend.
And they did a lot of stories with him.
I'd wager Mr. Burns is one higher than Millhouse.
Burns is there. He's
Oh, did you already put him in?
Yeah, Burns.
Who's Ned Flanders? He'd be the.
Oh yeah, Ned.
No.
Oh no.
4th Flanders.
What about Nelson? Because isn't there a lot of episodes where he just goes ha ha?
Yeah. Maybe Nelson.
Oh.
Neldon.
Neldon.
No. Maybe Gabe.
Yeah, Grandpa Simpson.
No, 1965.
Is it
Patty and Selma.
Mayor Quimby.
Smithers
has got to be pretty high up. 179.
Lenny Carr, and one of my favorite jokes in The Simpsons ever, when Homer wrote on his name.
Wow, Lenny. Look how many lines Lenny has. That's crazy.
Lenny's got loads of lines. Carl's got none. He's not even in there. Unless I'm spelling.
Oh no, you spell Carl with a C. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Carl.
Lenny's too busy doing this.
Man, Lenny and Carl are really
like Millhouse
prolific.
Yeah, Millhouse is like best friend to Bart, like Lenny is best friend to Homer, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to say Krabap. Mo.
Dolph, Jimbo, and Kearney.
Mo.
Krabap. How do you spell a name?
Just put Edna. Yeah. Dolph, Jimbo, Dolph, and Kearney are the bullies.
Dolph. His name's Dolph Starby.
Yeah, Jimbo, Kearney, Dolph, and
Jimbo Jones. How do you spell Kearney?
K-E. Yeah. Yeah,
E-Y.
we're on the right lines.
Hey, what? Excuse me. Zizwitz.
Sislak.
Comic book guy.
76.
Oh,
Hey, there we go. Wow. Mo is the most prolific side character.
What's the
Hi,
drunk guy
Mitch.
called? In
There's numerous drunk guys in.
no, the one in the bar always in Moe's.
We've
Barney's-
already got Barney, yeah.
Arnie's
Oh,
on
yeah.
there already.
But do we have Sam and Larry, the other barflies?
No, we don't.
They don't have any. They don't have any lines. So
Joey Jojo McShabado.
Joey Jojo Junior Shabadoo.
Oh, that's the worst name I've ever heard.
That's a good one.
Grimy Grimes.
Frank Grimes.
Grimes.
I don't think he won't be on it. He's not. Oh,
He's
down
not
the bottom.
included.
he's a bonus. Yeah.
He's in the bonus bit.
Radioactive. No, Arnie Pie.
Duffman.
Arnie Pie. Yeah.
Oh, God.
What's John Lovitz's character?
Artie Ziff.
Critic?
Artie Ziff. Yeah.
No. Narrow miss.
Marge. I traveled the world in the 7 seas. I am watching.
What's the name of
you
the
through a
sea
camera.
captain?
Duffman will definitely be on there.
Captain McAllister.
Duffman is already there.
Oh, is he? Oh, is he really on?
Momentum, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I thought, well, who's the other two?
Sherry and Terry.
Macklebury.
What about the Reverend?
Sideshow Bob.
Lovejoy.
Is he called Lovejoy? Okay.
Sideshow Bob. Sideshow Mel.
Mel.
Sideshow Raheem. Sideshow Luke Perry.
Krusty.
Sideshow Mel's really high up.
Krusty.
Krusty the
Krusty.
Clown.
Yeah, we probably should put Krusty in there.
Jasper.
Because I'm like thinking like from like the top down, like who could be behind Kent Brockman?
Hans Moleman.
Did we not deal with him already? Oh, no, we didn't.
No.
Which Sideshow Raheem be on there?
I seriously doubt it.
What's the name of the monkey?
He might be in one of the secret ones. No,
No.
that's a
What's the name
shame.
of the monkey? Is the monk? Mojo. I was gonna say Mojo. Pray for Mojo, but no, Mojo. Yes.
Pray for Mojo.
Pray for
Pray for Mojo.
Uh,
The hidden ones are better than the ones on the board.
Homer's mum.
Sorry?
Homer's mum, but I can't remember what her name is.
Mona?
Yeah, there we go.
Hit 8.
Glenn Close.
What was
yeah.
what was the character called that poked fun at Mike Tyson, the boxer? Because I know he's
Dredrick
in quite-
Tatum.
Drederick Tatum.
Yeah, because I know he's in quite a lot of episodes.
Yeah, 20,
Yeah, there we go.
21 episodes.
Troy McClure.
And Lionel
Oh,
Hutz.
Lionel
We already got
Hutz,
Lionel.
yeah.
Yeah, we already. Yeah.
What's the other lawyer called? He's got an... There you go, blue-haired lawyer.
Fat Tony.
Fat
Yeah.
Tony.
Nice.
What
Johnny
about
Tightlips.
what about
Maybe
the
Johnny Tightlips doesn't talk.
what about
Professor
the,
Frank. No, he does because he says, "I ain't saying nothing."
Yeah, he does, yeah.
what about the dumb
Wait.
doctor? What's he called in English?
Who?
Dr. Nick Riviera.
Nick
Oh,
Riviera.
Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
Did we do
Hibbert.
the good yeah, Hibbert, the good doctor?
That's a good Dr. Hibbers.
Oh, they also added Bernice Hibbert.
Yeah.
Put the surname in, you can
Sure.
get the doubles.
Professor Cornucopia. Oh, fuck, I can't remember the full quote. I really need to memorize Professor Cornucopia's Fun Time Imaginarium or whatever it's called. The Texas Cheesecake Depository.
The guy that with whose help Lisa finds his love for Jess, he's only in like one episode.
Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Bleeding Gums Murphy and Dr. Marvin Monroe. Both of them were never popular.
Oh, Marvin Monroe's in 12 episodes.
Didn't Monroe die? In one
Yeah,
of
that's
the
the joke that in the 134th episode
yeah.
Spectacular.
What
I'm just
topic-
Which two characters died in the last
Right,
year?
You thought Marvin
Welcome.
Monroe?
Hey,
Oh,
it's
no,
Kilby.
He was never popular.
I've got one. I was just about to say, Rainier Wolfcastle.
Nice, McBain.
What about
Let's get silly.
Scratchy?
Dolph and
We've got Jimbo, Dolph, and Kearney.
Oh,
Don't
Itchy and
worry.
Scratchy?
Yeah, Itchy and Scratchy. We need Itchy and Scratchy.
Miss Poochie.
And Poochie.
Not going to be in this. is
Poochie,
it?
probably. He might be.
Yes.
Wasn't he in like 2 or 3 episodes?
One of the secret ones, I guess. Yeah.
Everyone should be asking, where's Pooh?
I really like the secret ones.
Yes.
Yeah, Legs and the
Mike,
other legitimate businessman. should be in there. Oh, leg, yeah.
Yeah,
Mike said
leg.
Otto.
Otto is a great shout.
That's one palindrome you won't be hearing for a while.
What is the Arnold Schwarzenegger action?
That's Rainier
guy?
Wolfcast.
Yeah, we got him.
Okay.
They did get Arnold for they did get Arnold for the movie. I was elected to lead, not to read.
196 appear.
Hmm.
That's worryingly high.
Yeah.
How have we only got 61?
Did you just type in
What about-
Flanders, or did you type in Ned Flanders specifically?
No, I typed in Flanders and got the whole crew.
Okay, got the
What
entire
about
family.
Professor Frank?
Yeah, we got
Yeah, he's in here somewhere.
Oh,
There he is.
96.
Bumblebee Man.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Fun
yeah.
fact: in German, he's called B-Man. Translated back.
Just B-Man.
No,
yeah,
Bumble.
because Bumblebee is Hummel in German and B is Biene.
I take it Helen Lovejoy's there. Yeah, won't someone please sing
Mhm.
to the children?
Yeah.
The spotty faced
Squeaky voice teen.
voice teen.
How do you spell Uta?
Uter, I think.
There you go. Is that his surname?
Worker.
I hate all the surnames are like new 21st century inventions. I don't like them. Like Jeff Albertson being the name of the comic book guy is just wrong. It's comic book guy. Squeaky voice teen.
Yeah.
Wiki voice team?
That's his official name.
Yeah.
That's Steve Friedman is not his name. That's a load of.
Who's the guy who owns Itchy
What
and
about
Scratchy?
Gil?
Oh, Roger Myers.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah, Gil. There we go. Roger Meyer.
Roger Myers being here.
196 is still like something that.
Yeah, who are we missing?
That's a lot of episodes.
Apu.
Apu, yes, of course. That'll be Apu.
Hey!
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Charlie. Charlie.
Charlie. Charlie. Who's Charlie?
That's his name.
He's the guy with the He's the guy with the glasses at the power plant. He's the one who tries to find the fake fire exit.
Yeah.
Hit one here, Charlie.
163 and 148.
See, these could be like popular 21st
Oh.
century characters who I
It could also be just like
Snake.
background character.
Oh, yeah.
Snake and Luigi as well.
What
Yes,
about-
Luigi.
What about the mother of Nelson? Isn't she in quite a lot of
No.
episodes later on?
No.
She is in them, but
I could put months in and
Cletus.
see. Yeah, Mrs.
Yeah,
Months.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Months.
Months. Yeah, I knew she's on the list. I didn't think she was like up.
Have we got Cletus the Slack-jawed yokel?
I was
Yes,
just gonna say,
Cletus.
yeah.
Cletus Spuckler.
Put in
Brandine.
Spuckler as well because Brandine will be in there.
Brandy.
Brandy.
And little Mary Spuckler has got 4.
Yeah, we really need to get those last two in the first column. I'm surprised.
Otherwise, we have to quit this and never come.
Lisa's teacher. What's her name?
Oh, Miss Hoover.
Hoover.
Yeah.
Have we got Artie Ziff?
Yes,
We have
Yeah,
Artie Ziff.
Yeah.
we have Artie.
Miss Hoover. Lunch Lady Doris.
Kang and Kodos.
Oh, is that all?
Kang and Kodos.
Kang
I
and
thought she was a
Kodos.
bigger character than that.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's because her voice actress died,
Yeah.
Is there any
so
old,
she's not in.
like
They
Am
were
I
both-
being blind, but I can't see Groundskeeper Willie on there?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones.
Who else works?
And who's the music teacher?
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Largo.
Okay.
Dewey.
Oh,
What's
One of the cops.
Dewey?
what's the name of the cops? Lou.
Lou and Eddie.
Oh,
Oh wow, Officer
Lou
Lou.
has- I think Lou later on has a lot of lines.
Oh, so what's that 126 one?
I'm very happy we got the first two columns down. It's like
No,
Eurovision.
No, we're still
More.
missing one in the second.
Still missing one in the.
Oh really? Oh
yeah,
no.
in the Edna Crab Apple.
Hmm.
That's a lot of episodes. Edna's in 129. That's a pretty big character.
What was the name of Mr. Burns' son? I don't know why I'm just randomly thinking
Harry.
of guest spots.
Larry Burns.
He might be in one episode, I think.
I think he is only in one
The
because it's
thing
not
now
It's not like
is
a sideshow Bob or something, is it?
We've already done sideshows.
Yeah, we
But I
did.
didn't do sideshow Luke Perry.
No. Martin Prince.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
bang.
Yeah, there you go.
Yay!
He's going.
So
for
we've
the-
got every major character.
I think like under 50, a lot of those are quite obscure.
Yeah, and also like in the new episodes, they rehash characters a lot that were never They were never popular in like the first 8 seasons.
I'm trying to remember the name of the other newscaster. Scott Christian, I think his name is.
Lindsay Nagel.
Lindsay Nate, yeah, she'll be quite high.
Cookie Kwan.
I'm just also like.
I think that is her name.
Ruth
Kwan.
Powers had like so few episodes.
Laura Powers.
We got Lurleen Lumpkin.
Ooh,
Oh.
Laura Powers and
Authority and Disco.
yeah,
Put Kwan.
Lurleen Lumpkin, Cookie Kwan.
Cookie Kwan.
Yeah, she's probably appeared like as a side character in like one episode.
15.
I know she's
What
in the
were
bowling
the-
episode.
Did the two aliens have a name?
Yeah, we did Kang and Kodos.
Okay.
We're actually running
We're
out of
coming
time.
up to the last.
I'm very glad
We
that
only got 15 seconds.
I'm very glad that we're in the same number of episodes. It would have been a shame if one of them had appeared without the other.
83 out of 100 is not bad for the first of the attempts.
What's
that we're-
Lance
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
I put Lance
So-
in.
Okay.
Judge Roy Snyder.
Judge Snyder.
Rich Texan.
Jewish man.
Jewish man. The sarcastic clerk.
Oh yeah, but with the Charles Bronson beard.
Dude's in 27 episodes.
Disco Stu wants to party.
Now that you mention
Janie.
him, I remember like
Janie, Bobaney.
Hold on.
Bill Clinton.
at number
Bill
12.
Martin and Toby Blair. Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I don't feel too bad about missing any of them. Maybe Judge Snyder.
God.
Well
Got
done,
to do it
everyone.
15 times.
We did a first quiz and we got 83 out of 100. So well done, everybody.
Well done, everyone.
Good work.
All right, I'm gonna shoot off now as well. But
We should have
I'm happy
went
with
to
these
Hank
guys,
Scorpio. Hello, Lewis, and hello, Mal. Ollie, thank you so much for.
It's been a pleasure, Ollie.
thank you guys. It was awesome.
Have a
Always
lovely
good
New
to
Year when
talk
it comes.
Simpsons. Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year.
Take
Bye.
good care. Bye bye.
Right, Ollie.
Right.
So, Lewis in the chat there.
He did,
Right,
and
Lewis here, made it
he came up with Hank Scorpio, which we should
also-
have went with Hank Scorpio.
Wow. Happy
Yes.
New Year from Portugal.
From Portugal.
Portugal.
Right. So now that we're here and Mike Kilby has joined us,
I like
sorry.
it.
Romy,
Sorry, I
still
had some
here?
tapas and fell asleep.
I think that's
That's
fine
like the
excuse.
rock and roll lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah.
The trio of the network is here. Of we got the flagship, and then we got the ground hoppers, as it were.
And we're even in the right sort of order as well. In the
Yeah.
And then there's that guy down below me who we don't really care about.
well,
but we move on.
Eddie now has to start a podcast with Domi about something. Those are the rules. I don't make them.
Me and Domi will just come up with a podcast where we argue about stuff, and I'll be like, "You don't know what you're talking about."
It's either where we argue about, or we just make fun of the Bears.
Yeah,
Bears.
NFL. We could do NFL,
Yeah.
not
Oh, the
actual
Bears.
Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Today's episode: Grizzlies.
Do a podcast about Max Verstappen.
I'll like to pass on that.
I'll do one of them. I'll invite all these guests on. How has
Logging my beer. Like,
Oh,
to
okay.
talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
How was your year, guys?
Yeah, yes. My year was fun. Mike, let's talk about the ground hopping. How have you found the experience over the course of 2021? And what plans have you got for 2022 with grounds hopping?
Very rejuvenating. It's probably not the word. Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good laugh. I think after God knows how long we sat indoors for. Well, we sat indoors for 18 months, didn't we? It was kind of. I think it was something like this was sort of brewing for a long while. So I'm really enjoying it. I think hopefully Arn is as well. It is getting now we're into the winter though, and all the games seem to be cancelled at a drop of a hat. It's a little bit of a challenge. So I mean, On's period where he thought he was going to lose loads of places doesn't appear to have affected him that much because loads of games have been cancelled. So
oh yeah, I'm rocking it.
Yeah, what's the current leaderboard looking at for
I'm gonna
the?
have to find it. So if you,
I will be able to send it to you in just a second. Give me a second.
While everyone does this, I just want to promote that Clay Davis, Senator, says hello, everybody. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to the podcasts. I believe Arn and Mike do normally Saturday mornings.
Saturday morning
your
at 10 a.m. We go head to head with Saturday Kitchen.
Fantastic. Well, we go head to head whenever we decide to podcast, normally with Tony Jameson and then sometimes
James Martin,
Grapple.
I'm on to you.
Why am I still on that list?
Because it's fun to see you on zero.
Zoom in on this so we can see. Can you zoom in on it? If you can.
I'm already on full screen, so I don't.
Okay. So Arn is currently in lead with 34.
It's
Liam
and Mike.
18. Mike tied with Liam on 18. Welsh on 12. Lucas on 5. Alex 2.
We may be. This may not be completely up to date though.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if you're not on it.
I'm not on it.
I don't know if
I'll come on for next year.
You should go on because then you would knock Davey down to 12. So.
Anything that keeps them bomb, that would be great.
Yeah, so.
I'm not even trying, guys.
Try harder. Don't non-excuse.
Oh,
sorry about that, Lewis. Although the Welsh government, the Scottish government, are awful though. So I'm not.
You could have been the king of Wales.
Yeah.
By having the most games in Wales. So.
Isn't that currently me?
You and Alex, yeah. No. Well, I don't know if Lewis has done 2 games, but Liam is king of Switzerland and king of Liechtenstein, so he's reunited those crowns.
I gotta be the king of something. Watch me go to the Netherlands a lot.
Yeah,
it's right around the corner.
Go for it. I mean, so what's your excuse, eh?
For not going, mainly I like to watch it on telly. I'm lazy and I have a lot of sim racing commitments where I have to commentate on the weekends. Well, I can't go to stadiums really.
It sounds like a bunch of excuses to me. I have to work.
No, they are excuses, but I think they're legitimate excuses. Especially the lazy part.
Yeah.
Not a lot of efficiency shown by you, Domi. But yeah. Yeah, so it seems like you guys are doing what, and I missed Taft's Well. Where's Taft's Well?
I don't know. I assume it's in Wales because it's got Tafts in the title.
Most likely.
And that's where all the Tafts are located.
Yeah. I'm looking at quizzes. I'm trying to find the Sporcle quizzes with Luton Town.
You're going to put me on the spot?
I am going to put you on the spot.
I'm not even wearing a Luton shirt today.
I might try this one. I'm going to send it to Arn. This one is going to be fun.
Apparently, Taft's Wells is around Cardiff.
I've sent it to you in the private chat.
What are we doing this one on stream?
I think I could name you 2.
I could. Are we doing that one on stream? I don't know. Go for it.
How confident are you? There's 22.
Are we doing like what's that national lottery game where you say I think I could do 12? You know?
Yeah. You can
Let me
make
just
anyone.
show you.
I'm kind of I like the fact it's got like one specific keeper in
Yeah,
the
it's a
name
really
of it.
random one to do.
Luton's
Yeah.
goalkeeper since Dean Brill made his debut in 2003.
Oh, okay. Okay, go on.
Can I name the two that I actually know?
Yeah, you can start and then.
Well, we've got 6 minutes, so
Yeah.
Is it two? No, I think if I think about it, it's only one, and that's Simon Sluga.
Snooker. Yeah. Go on.
But I think this only goes until
Yeah, no,
2020. Was he
Sluga would be
around
on
then?
there. Yeah, Sluga would be
So
on there.
2019, 2020. So let's have Domi say his two, and then
No, it's actually only one.
just the one. So let's just say your one, and then let's see if Mike Kilby can get it done.
Go on. This is putting me through a bit of a.
Simon Sluga.
Wait,
Hey!
can I go for Dean Brill?
apparently not.
Yeah, go for Dean Brill.
Okay, so working back from Sluga, we had Marek Stech, so Stech.
Oh yeah, you had.
Yep.
There's another one in between there, which
Shea, so Shea.
Yeah.
S.
Shea.
Not
Shay.
Shay Given, as in
Hey,
Shay.
oh right, gotcha.
Oh, okay. There's another one in between that. Harry
Wasn't there an
Isted.
Irishman before Sluga?
Isted.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Right, and then there was a year when we had about 4 goalkeepers on loan.
It is 4.
So we had a fella from Arsenal, I can't think of the name of. I'll go back a little bit further. No, Mark Tyler, we definitely had. So Tyler. We had Pilkington, Kevin Pilkington, the old ex-Man United goalkeeper.
There we go.
We had Elliot Justin, crap Waitrose sandwich.
Justin.
Just ham.
Just ham.
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
Terrible sandwich. We had. Who else did we have? We had. There was a Lewis Kidd, I think KIDD.
No.
Okay, he must have played in the Bedfordshire Senior Cup. Beresford, we have Marlon Beresford, who I served him in my pub and he was horrible.
Up yours,
As a
Marlon.
goalie or just as a person in general?
Yes.
Thrown under the bus.
Right, go think of goalkeepers now. We had Macy, Macey, I think Matt Macy.
Yeah, the American.
That's one of your 4 loanies.
Oh god. I think we had another loanee. We had Dean Kiley once. Kiely. Definitely had him play for us.
Yep. 2006, 2007.
God, who else?
I'd love to be more helpful, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could be more helpful. We had Conrad Logan on loan once. He was a
Hibernian legend, Conrad Logan.
God, now I'm drawing blanks.
You're halfway.
Yeah.
God,
You also have 3 minutes left.
I'm missing ones from like the Conference League, which is kind of worrying. That's when I was watching it more. God, talk amongst yourself while I'm thinking of this.
Well, yeah.
I'm over halfway.
Was the Arsenal fellow Estonian?
What? Matt Macy? No, I don't think we had any Estonian goalkeepers. I would have remembered that.
I thought when you were talking about Arsenal, I thought you were talking about like Vito Manoni or something like that.
No, we never had that sort of player. Mark Poom. It would have been good if he had.
That's the first thing I did is typed in Poom. And it sadly drew away.
Mark Ovendale.
Ovendale.
Yes. He unfortunately. What? Oh, he must be older then. Okay.
Not having that. Sorry.
He unfortunately killed himself, which is not a nice thing. Way to bring the thing down. God. I can't believe Dean Brill doesn't count as an answer as a goalkeeper who's debuted since Dean Brill.
Wait, he debuted before Dean Brill?
Yeah.
He is Dean
That's
Brill.
actually how we measure history. We have
The Dean Brill scale.
BB and AB. Oh,
I
God.
love it how
I didn't
2022.
realise Dean Brill's Luton career was so important to the.
Oh, Christian Walton. He's at Brighton now, I think. Walton.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
we're halfway. We're over halfway.
You've only got 2 more of the on loans.
God. No, you see, this is where it would be. We had.
It's an interesting. I mean, I like the fact that someone has taken the time to specifically go.
Yeah, it's
I know
such
what
a
colours
random
this
one.
needs. Dean Brill was clearly that important to the football club.
Beresford.
I'm starting to point out we're not sponsored by L'Oreal LV. This is just like,
Or Shrove joined the Snowfest.
yeah, none of that business. I mean, they should be paying us for all the coverage they're getting here, but
Yeah, they should really. Yeah.
No, Amazon. Christ.
God. Yeah, I'm tapping out on this. I can't think of.
Okay, let's see. Snap 12 out of 2022. So
I'm gonna, as soon as I see them, I'm gonna go. Oh, obviously.
Morton Hildegard, Rob Beckwith,
Oh,
Dino
Craig King. That's who it was.
Siramet, David Ford, Ben Alnwick, Lewis Price, Shane Gore, Jonathan Mitchell, Craig King, and Stuart Moore.
Yeah, I know all of them. I don't remember Ben Alwink or Morton Hildegard. But...
You did beat the average.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So that's something. Well done, Mike.
Yeah, the problem is that for such, I kind of had a bit of a. It was about 4 years where I didn't go very much, and then when I got back, it was the conference period, and then we only had 2 goalkeepers pretty much for the whole thing. So 2-3 goalkeepers at most. That's why I could pretty much only remember them ones. But...
What would be the most kind of memorable season of following Luton?
Well, Luton. I loved the last season in the conference. To be honest, as awful as it was, and it was literally the absolute pits. I absolutely loved the conference because there were some really mad teams in there. But it was also good because there was a few. We had a really great rivalry with Cambridge United that last year, and it helped that Cambridge's manager was Richard Money, who used to manage Luton. There's some interesting graffiti
about Richard Money.
Yeah, there's some interesting graffiti about Richard Money, which is one that we can't probably say on this.
Yeah, you can. That's fine.
There was and Richard Money basically he loves a interview, and like he would always refer. He would never. He was because we sacked Richard Money for whatever reason because he kind of was a bit incompetent towards the end, and he never referred to Luton Town by our name. He would always say that team down the road. He would always, and it was like and it'll be like there's teams in this division who could afford to pay this amount of money, and it was always referred, and he would never mention us by name, he just would. He bottled it because he thought he was going to win that year, and then I think we went on I want to say it was something like a 22 game winning streak, which was incredible, and over 100 goals, and we had John Still, who is the non-league Jesus, the greatest manager in non-league football, who's now actually the director of football at Southend United. So expect them to come up in about 2 years' time. Yeah. So John Still, who one of the most quotable managers in the world. Ralph Rangnick actually used a John Stillism the other week about being not a little bit pregnant. That was a total John Still thing. That was a really good fun year. And then obviously at the end of the year, it was a great relief after 5 years of absolute, it was a complete injustice. We was even down there, and once we obviously did get out, that was absolute jubilation. And as I say, it's only really been up since then. So
that's the main thing, isn't it? I mean, how have you played this season? You're currently 12th at the moment. Nathan Jones is back.
We're 12th. Nathan Jones's return it feels like we should have been talking about that 2 years ago, but Nathan Jones's return was. I think what we needed as much as maybe we didn't initially want it. But I think he's very, very remorseful for what he did, and I think we've, as a people, we're forgiving him. I sincerely hope for his own safety, pretty much, that he never does anything like that again.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
he went to Stoke after about a month. A month earlier, he did say he'd only leave Luton for Barcelona, and then he went to Stoke.
Hey, come on! I mean, I'm German and I follow the German. You hear a lot of those sentences, like right now I'm gonna be the manager for next year, and the next day, they're getting announced to be the new manager of Bayern Munich, Niko Kovac.
I mean, Stoke's probably in a better financial position than Barcelona at the moment, so maybe.
They did have
Bojan at the time as well. So
good Bojan.
But yeah, he came back, and I think the older core of players because there were players who were Jones players who knew how to play the formation, and Newcastle having Graham Jones, I think, is a fantastic number 2. I think he's proven that. He's proven that with Belgium. He's proven that with every team that he's been at with Roberto Martinez with. He's proven that he can do it. He's brilliant as a number 2.
Yeah.
As a leader at Luton, we knew he couldn't do it, and obviously at Newcastle when he briefly took over, although that's a bit of a mess of a club anyway. It's proven he can't really hack it. So Jones is a natural leader. Nathan Jones is a natural leader, and I think players get him. I think really more than anything else, he's one of the lads, which I think is what you need.
Yeah, and since this season, obviously we're halfway through it at the moment. How have you felt the season has gone so far? I'd say they're currently in 14th.
Well, I think for a club of our size, in all honesty, every season the goal should be survival. Of a club of our size, we're the only there's no club which has anywhere as few resources as we do in terms of financial clout. We're one of the only clubs that has not been in the top flight and benefited from parachute payments in the last. Well, yeah, pretty much every club has either been in the top flight or I think pretty much every other one has since parachute payments have been a thing. Probably barring Forest, but Forest have got a big
I'd
owner.
Say Forest, maybe Coventry City.
Coventry, yeah, probably someone like Coventry as well.
Millwall.
But you even look at the size of a club like Coventry compared to, the budget of a club like Coventry compared to a team like Luton Town. It's
got a big old ground, Coventry.
It's a big old ground, and they can, if they want to, they can fill out. Is it 25,000, 30,000?
It's 33, I think.
Yeah.
So they can fill.
Yeah, it's 32,000 capacity.
They can sell out a 30,000 game against Birmingham City or West Brom or whatever it is. Whereas, we have 12,000. 11,000, and that's immediately a stumbling block. So 12th at the moment, absolutely delighted with. I would happy if we finished 12th. I'd happy if we finished 15th, 16th. To be honest, survival is always the goal for us. Really,
the thing you mentioned was like the amount of tickets you can sell. In Germany, the Bundesliga has actually done something to prevent that exact problem by all the
stealing all the money.
No. All the tickets sold for Bundesliga games at the end of the season come into like a big pot, and they get shared equally for the teams.
That would be a lovely thing, but
we're talking about the English football pyramid. There is
would be going
to be lovely financial help there.
There would be, it is a good idea, but equally, I kind of do see it from the point of if you're. Let's say, for example, West Ham United goes into the Championship with their 65,000, 70,000 seater in London. They go down to the Championship and then they have to give effectively £30,000 worth of ticket sales to Little Luton Town.
But
it's nice when you're on that side, but I kind of
in England, I think it's also hugely different because most clubs are owned by a person. most clubs are
Yeah.
companies, so to speak, or franchises. While in Germany, we still have 50+1, and they're mostly clubs. I mean, they're still technically companies, but they're mostly football clubs in a more traditional sense.
Yeah, but the traditional sense of like an English club is that it's owned by some dude, and you just
I mean, from like my German point
it's
of view,
different.
right?
Yeah, it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
There's-
Luton is to an extent fan owned, so
I mean, Luton would be the closest
they're
for
the
me
biggest,
as a German to a traditional football club.
the biggest fan owned in as much as you can be really in the UK, in England at least anyway, because the ownership's consortium is all Luton Town fans. Some of them very wealthy, but they are all Luton Town fans first and foremost, and they're not allowed to be part of the consortium if they're not Luton fans. And the Supporters Trust, which I'm a member of, owns the rights to the club. Actually, we effectively own the club identities. So we own the kit, we own the badge, we own any vetoes to basically if somebody came in and said yes, okay, we want to change the kit to red and we want to change the nickname to the Dolphins, we could put a veto on that. Yeah, the Luton
Flyers.
Red Dolphins. Yeah, we have the veto on that. So.
There's a comment.
You don't want to be the Luton Red Dolphins. Then.
There's a comment that I've seen that I kind of want Arn to react to, and it's by Lewis, and it's about Barcelona.
I'd already put that on the screen if that's the one.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. Because I kind of want you to go. Because obviously we're talking other stuff. We're talking Simpsons. We're talking Lynn Time. I do want to talk about Barcelona. Purely because I know that it's bread and butter Arn's subject. They have currently inquired about trying to sign Aubameyang. They're trying to push Aubameyang out for Coutinho. They have spoke to Juventus about giving them Memphis Depay. Who else were they? Oh, there's been rumors they're trying to sign Morata, I believe.
How old is
Aubameyang?
How old is Coutinho nowadays?
30.
Coutinho is
what, physically or like
human?
I feel like his footballing age is
in human years
atrophied.
There was the rumors they were going to sign
Azpilicueta there from friendly.
There was rumors they're trying to sign Azpilicueta. But yeah,
they signed Ferran Torres for 55 million somehow.
Oh, obviously they signed Ferran Torres, and they're going to be paying them back in 48 monthly loans, like he's a DFS coach.
City don't need the money, and Pep's probably like, yeah, it's fine when you've got time.
Pay me back when you got it, buddy.
It's right. I'll give the money when I'm the president of Barcelona. Or the president of Catalonia.
So Arn, Barcelona. What's your thoughts now as the season has gone on and they're now signing players with IOUs? There's also the other one I want to talk about in a minute, which will be.
How are they allowed to sign players? They don't have any money.
So they've signed Torres, but Torres has an injury. He's broke his. He had an issue in his ankle or something like that? So they can't even register him. He's not even fit to play.
Well, they can't register him because they can't afford him.
This was the same issue they had with Aguero.
How much was the Aguero insurance? Was it like £500 million?
55 million to the cents.
His entire body was insured by Lloyd's of London. Clearly,
did they sign him because he had a dodgy ticker and they could put him on the insurance to get the payout?
I mean, if they end up signing Ericsson, you'll probably know all about that.
They are planning on building a new stadium as well.
If the stadium burns down in the next couple of weeks, we know it's for insurance.
One thing to say about stadiums, though, is stadiums don't come out of financial fair play because they're infrastructure improvements. Likewise, if you, for example, were to invest in your academy, that doesn't count for financial fair play. So actually, they're perfectly within their rights to do that.
To be fair, I think
it comes out of a different
They
pot.
haven't got any money though.
To be
They
fair,
ain't got any money, but they're Barcelona, I suppose. They can do
like in
Fan
the sense
owned.
of like talking about financial fair play as a base apart from Barcelona. I think that's fair to like be like, okay, infrastructure, stadium, that shouldn't be included for financial fair play because that's actually building on something and not just going, oh, I got a rich dude now and I'm gonna spend $1 billion this summer to get like 4 center backs.
Or you buy 5 17-year-olds from the Dutch league, and then you can put them in your youth academy, and they don't count. Youth signings, I don't think really count for financial fair play.
And then you sign like
there's an age cap, or is it just a price cap?
I believe there is, because I think if you sign somebody under a certain age, they count as a youth player, and 99% sure that doesn't count for financial fair play.
But also, like youth signings are lottery.
The amount of players that they sign and then end up putting like a €1 billion release clause on them is just stupid.
Well, Spain have to have release clauses on.
Yeah, Spain has mandatory release clause
because you have to pay La Liga to release yourself out of your contract or something like that.
Isn't it like something like you have to pay out your own release clause? Because I remember there was like
Messi
not just the Messi. I think it was Neymar. It was like one huge thing where he got like. Oh, he got those like what was it, 300 million? I don't remember. Like in a sponsorship deal with like some dude in Qatar who accidentally owns Paris Saint-Germain, and then he was able to pay that out and go to Paris Saint-Germain. But I remember mainly because
I'm here for Donny's PSG pronunciations. Just keep saying it.
I actually mainly remember it from when Javi Martinez went to Bayern. Because it was a big deal with Bilbao not actually wanting to sell Martinez, and it was like I understand Bilbao, but like Bayern wanted Martinez, and it was like 40 million, and they didn't want to sell, and Martinez obviously doesn't have 40 million in the bank to sell himself out. It's like it's all dealing with Spanish clubs about transfer fees when they don't want to sell is a mess.
Yeah, because
you know what else is a mess? Romelu Lukaku currently, and his Chelsea. The amount who has let him speak to Sky Sports Italia and say the things
maybe
he's
just
saying right
nobody
now.
at Chelsea speaks Italian, although Jorginho plays.
I did see a funny tweet, and it was something like the interviewer was like, "Hi Romelu, would you like a glass of water before your interview?" And he says, "I'd love one, but it wouldn't be the same as the water in Milan." It would be no way as refreshing as the water in Milan.
The entire interview is a love letter, and I'm sorry I left Inter.
Why did you leave then?
Because he didn't like the contract.
Listen,
money. They were not prepared to. I mean, they were going for you, as we already discussed. They were going through a financial issue anyway.
I think my favorite story this year about like money and like not liking the place where he could be was, Zidane doesn't want to go to Manchester because he doesn't want to live in North London. So Manchester might sign Pochettino, which leaves open a spot at Paris Saint-Germain for Zidane.
There's just
logic in there.
Could Milan not cash in on one of their Inter fan tokens?
Well, they're now owned by who are they owned by now, Arn?
The same people that own Newcastle.
I mean, similar jerseys. If you swap out the blue with white, they're basically Italian Newcastle.
And then if you wash it hard enough, you can see the blood underneath from the money that they got.
I sent him the message. I sent him the Twitter link to the announcement that Inter were. No, I sent him the link. I sent him the link to the announcement that Inter were being taken over, and he said, "Well, it was nice being an Inter fan."
They enjoy being an Inter fan. They won things.
Also,
Never
what
been
on earth
that
are
fond
you?
of Inter.
What on earth are you putting up on your on Twitter, responding to Football Manager's Twitter, saying the best achievement of your career was beating me? You beat me like once. And I
Yeah,
don't
but
even
it-
think
Oh
it
yeah,
counts.
that's right. We have
That's
all
an
4
achievement.
winners of the David Moyes Invitational in here. Actually,
This is the Champions Club.
yeah.
Tommy, you won it when
Yeah.
no one was looking.
Yeah,
I won it against Toby.
You should just put a big asterisk next to your name. Domi asterisk.
yeah. The season that only half of us
I
competed.
opened my windows wide one morning, and there's a open top bus parade, and Dommy going past with the trophy. I'm like, when did that happen?
You've seen the GIF from FIFA where he lifts nothing.
It's like it's that. I would imagine if he was doing the open top bus, it would end up like Mike Bassett, Football Manager, where he ends up going on the middle of the. He just ends up going on the motorway because the bus driver goes the wrong way. Yes,
Oh, I see how it is.
Here he goes.
we're all winners of the
Yeah.
David Moyes, except Domi.
Some
Who's
more-
Domi, where's the
some-
asterisk? Domi, where's the
Yeah,
asterisk?
I
Come on.
wanted to say some more prestigious than the others.
Yeah, thanks very much.
I would
Can I like
admittedly
can I
say.
change it?
Yeah, I guess you can change it.
I personally think I wouldn't have won the league if everyone was there. Considering I know my track record in the David Moyes Invitational before this.
I won season 1 despite not having any idea how to do any tactics of any kind. So.
Yeah.
You just drafted Ronaldo, you little shit.
No, not in
that-
season 1.
In season 1,
When I
not.
was-
Season 1,
Oh, yeah.
I had a ragtag bunch of players.
I
Yeah.
Well,
gifted
we'll never
you
see
that.
those
league.
days again, Mike. We'll never see those days again.
I do
gift-
feel like I
listen,
am Blackburn Rovers at the start of the
It's
Premier
not
League.
just Eddie who gifted you that. I basically lost 7-1 against you on the last match day.
Well, I gifted him the
Yeah.
league because James Justin scored against some
yeah,
guy
it
named
was,
Arn.
yeah.
Who
James
was
Justin.
second again in that year?
No, Arn won.
Mm,
Going on
no.
average placings over the whole thing, I'm pretty sure I'd be top.
I think you are actually, because you finished third this year again without ever showing up.
Season
showed up
1
for the cup
champion,
final,
season
which
2
one?
lost.
Yeah, you showed up for the cup final where you somehow entered. I think you never played a human player actually being there also in the cup. And then you won the cup final. I think you beat me in the league
High
as well.
quality drafting. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, before the season in the Football Manager pundit, oh, these are the favorites. You and Eddie, you were like predicted like the favorites with like I think 1 to 21 before the season, and Toby was like 1 to 501, so he was like an underdog. Like and then was me on last place being like 1 to 1001. You know?
Season 2 was a great year for specifically me.
I mean, I had fun all the seasons. I know my victory is very tainted, to be fair. I still enjoyed it.
As long as you had fun, that's the.
I mean, Football Manager. I mean, the let's go around and talk about Football Manager. It's how important would you say? Well, not how important. As games have gone on and as the Football Manager games have been released, how have you? What was probably your favorite Football Manager game, and what was the best career that you would say you've had? I'll start with Arn.
Mike's still playing the same save.
Who are you on?
I still play Football Manager 2013.
Is this the Gladbach one you were
I
on?
have one save, and I just don't. Yeah, I don't. What you say, Gladbach? No, I'm not a Gladbach anymore. That manager retired, and I'm now his son. His son, who is half Italian because he was born when I was in Milan. So yeah, no, that was so. That's I'm in 2045 or something like that. So my son James is the manager of Portland Timbers. That was his first job. I managed to get that reputation from his old man, obviously.
The first time I ever played Football Manager / Championship Manager was at this man's house, Wolfie Man 77 down the bottom there. This is true. This is bizarrely true. So I used to go around there and we played like there was 3 of us, and we play like the early version of a network save where you had to go to somebody's house because like there was no internet version of it. But yeah, that was like the first time I really played it. So I used to go around there, take like a load of beer, and we just sit there getting drunk watching TV and like switch the person on the manager's chair around.
And what's the current one that you consistently are playing at the moment, Arn?
I think the most recent version of the game is the best version of the game.
Okay.
It's improved like each year. Like they've added little bits and pieces in, and some of it doesn't work, and some of it does. Like the data hub is just a complete waste of time. So that it's like they've been this whole thing about like, oh, data hub, and I don't use it at all.
I just think you've broken the game with your arm ball tactic, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, I try and not use it, but then sometimes I just have to resort to using it to get somewhere better so I can spend some money and get better players.
I think the thing with the reason why I kind of like 13, well, number one, I have a long-standing save, and I just like that universe. If there was a way of importing that universe to a new one, I probably would, because I love the way that, you know, Crewe Alexandra is an established Premier League team, and Kirk Broadfoot's been their manager for 15 years. Like, I love that sort of thing.
I love that you know that as well.
Yeah. Like, he's like an established manager in the Premier League. Like,
I love Mourinho.
What's that?
He's like Mourinho, Art.
Kirk Broadfoot is the Crewe Alexandra Mourinho. Yeah. Like I love that the world it's a bit of a warm blanket sort of thing. But also it's a world pre like 100 million transfers. So like a good player goes for 45 million. There's no VAR on the game. No real goal line technology. There's I don't know. It just feels very comforting.
I kind of like that they've broken VAR in this year's game. So when you can have a decision go to VAR and it's clearly onside or it's offside, and the VAR will get it wrong, and I'm like, are they
English VAR? Interesting.
Is this a criticism of refereeing standards?
I will admit I have played a bit of. I haven't played the newest one, but I did play a bit of 21. I've played a little bit of that, and I do quite like a few of the things, but I just feel that there's just too many menus now. I
think they've kind of steadily added to it, so it's like if you skip from like 13 to 20, it's like such a big jump.
Yeah, it is. I played 13, 14, 15. Didn't really play anything until 19, and then I played 19. I was like, "Ooh, don't like that."
And then you won the Moyes on it.
I did really like 14 actually, but I did like 14, and 15 was all right as well. But I think I just like my save really. There was the wonderful world where all England, Scotland, and Wales have all won tournaments within 6 years. That was quite fun.
I think Brexit also ruined parts of it.
There's no Brexit in there as well.
Yeah, Brexit has made it harder to play as an English team, but then not impossible. So like, you just put work permit chance likely on there, and you're not going to have any problems.
So is that a thing now? I didn't realise. Yeah.
I think you have to. You can change. Yeah, there's a way of being able to change it from what I remember.
When I was at Dundee United last year's save, did a bang up job, Eddie. But
you did really well.
In the first year, I signed like 5 youngsters, and 3 of them didn't get work permits, and I was not prepared for that to happen, and I didn't really know what to do. So I was loaning them out, and they weren't improving because they weren't at a good club, because I couldn't loan them to a good club because I was Dundee United. And then they just they got better, Eddie. They got better.
Okay.
So it was weird. So like I ended up with 3 useless players who didn't improve at all, and I had to let go on free transfers. But then, like, kind of learn from that. The whole thing's a learning experience. Like it's like with anything in life, you do something wrong, and then you go, right, I'm not going to do that again. I'll do it differently. So as long as you're searching for that players with that work permit likely thing, or you can ask the agent now. So you just send a message to the agent and say like, what are you asking for? And it comes through and it says the chance of a work permit is likely, and you go like, oh, sounds good. And then if it doesn't come through, you can just like cancel the transfer. So.
I remember signing people and then realizing like it comes up saying they have like 80%, they have 3% chance or something like that with work permits. And I just kind of got frustrated with it, but I'll probably end up going back to it again. I know I will. I've not been in Football Manager mode as for a while, but
the save that I'm doing this for this year, I didn't actually intend to go to England at all. But then Aston Villa just offered me a job out of nowhere, and I was like, well, that's a really good club to just go to.
If you play realistically, you would, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do it like if it was me and I was managing in like Portugal with the smaller team and Aston Villa offered me a job, I'd be like, okay. Although Stoke offered me a job beforehand, and I was like, don't want to do that.
If we look at obviously leagues to manage in Football Manager, the MLS you've had experience in the MLS, Arn?
Mm-hmm.
I've managed. I've had
Mike,
a few.
You've had. I'm just going to say, you've had Domi. I take it you've never managed in the MLS.
Only in Football Manager 13, but not the Sports Interactive Sega one, but the EA one, because we didn't have the Sega one in Germany until 19, I think. Would have talked about that game a little bit, but like it was a good game, but it doesn't have like the whole draft system, if I remember correctly. But then again, it's 10 years since that game came out. We're talking about 14-year-old Domi and not 24-year-old Domi talking there. Like I might have forgotten things, but would have talked about like EA's Football Manager a bit if it was my turn to talk about Football Managers.
Yes, it will be in a moment.
That's why.
What I was going to say was MLS. Your experiences in the MLS, because obviously Lorenzo Insigne has just left Napoli to go to an MLS side. I think he went to Toronto. Did anything like that happen within your MLS saves, and what was it like managing within the MLS?
Just before anyone answers that, as a barber, this is every stage of beard growth. It's clockwise as well.
At least I'm final stage.
Hey, listen, I'm the youngest here. I'm allowed to have
caveman. But yeah, what just kind of when did you find the MLS was quite difficult to manage? Did it take you a while to kind of pick up on rules?
I had to DM Matt Richards and ask him how to play in the MLS because I didn't understand it at all. I didn't know how. Like I went to register players and they were like, "You're over your salary cap," and I'm like, and apparently you can like defer wages to something. It was quite hard to understand. If somebody was just going straight into it with no preparation, it'd be an absolute nightmare.
Sorry,
yes, Mike.
No, you go.
No, Mike.
I was to say I've followed MLS for like a lot longer than I think a lot of people in the UK, because I think since like the late 2000s I've been following MLS because I have friends in Kansas City, so I've kind of sort of followed the Wizards as they were then, now Sporting. I've followed them for nearly 15 years now at this point, and so I kind of had a bit of a baseline knowledge of it, but it does occasionally get a bit overwhelming when you're like, the Generation Adidas contract, are they on the
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, I was about to ask.
You're like Generation Adidas contracts, and then you have like you know, I've always kind of been fine with like the designated players, and that's kind of always been fairly straightforward. But you do kind of find yourself going, he looks all right. Let's see how he goes. Oh, he's crap. Just wave him.
Yeah,
you know. So I do find you have to. There's a little bit of a experiment. Okay, he's a bit crap. Get rid of him. It's fine, because if we drop down in the league, we can just draft someone decent next year. So
as far as I was concerned, there's 3 spots for designated player, but you can acquire another designated player spot. Am I correct with that?
You can trade the spots with like other teams.
And there's also the
basically, I always gave away my draft picks because I'm like I wasn't going to stay there for very long, so I'll trade away this number 1 draft pick for another like
designated
player slot, and then just abuse the system.
You've also got the discovery rights. Is that still a thing? Maybe that's an older thing. So I haven't managed on an lesson recently, but
it's fine. I think there's still you own the rights to a player.
So discovery rights. So for example, if you was manager of Real Salt Lake and you're like, I like Simon Kluger at Luton Town, you could put your discovery rights on him, for example.
Okay. And then your country's flag and just sticking it in someone.
Yeah, effectively. And then also, for example, thanks for that, Damien. I think like someone like Columbus Crew has the discovery rights on Lionel Messi, and they haven't discovered Lionel Messi. But if Lionel Messi then does decide to go to LA Galaxy, Columbus Crew gets a cut of that fee. So like it is the discovery.
I see a wild Messi.
The discovery waiver thing is that's something you can sort of play with, and when managing in MLS, I've found that's been occasionally quite a lucrative thing. If you look for players who are about 33 in the Premier League or Serie A, and you sort of go, well, Joe, he's out of contract at the end of the year. Once or twice, it has actually paid off as well. So
I have discovered this like young lad. I don't know if you heard of him, John Terry. He's 33 and playing for Chelsea.
Yeah, thank you for that. Well, let's actually talk about. So as I said, we all had Sega Sports Interactive Football Manager. Domi, you guys had EA Sports Football Manager.
And hey, I'm gonna say one thing. It wasn't bad. I had 3 from EA Sports. It was Football Manager 07, which my most frequent memories were each year in the summer. I would spend 3 weeks on a trailer park in the Netherlands. And there were other 2 German families every year there that we knew. So basically the kids, me and 2 other boys, we basically like spent the days, like the daytime when it wasn't raining, at the beach, and then came back, played a little bit of table tennis because they had a table tennis in a barn every summer there. So we played that a bit until the evening, and then we played some Football Manager against each other and had some good times there. That's like because it's just, you're, what was I, 9, 10 years old at that time. Just having like a little bit of good fun. And then like years later, like Football Manager 12 again, I owned. But I have more memories of Football Manager 13 because it was the last real Football Manager of EA. They did Football Manager 14, which was just 13 with less licenses.
It's like the whole Legacy Edition they do, yeah.
13, on the other hand, was like an actual good game. Had a lot of things that later came in the Sport Detective thing, like the whole player hierarchy was already there. But also, if you you had like a big screen player hierarchy, and then in one menu, if you clicked, for example, your Dortmund, and you clicked on Mats Hummels, it would be like, oh, he likes to play next to Neven Subotic at that time. Or like and all that stuff. Or if you signed 2 brothers, like even if like one of the brothers
Sven and Lars Bender.
No, even like, I don't know, like one really good one is like for your second team, then still the better brother is like, I like, even if you're not that successful, I like staying here because my brother is here. You would get like little things like, oh, his wife would love living in, I don't know,
is it Wanda Naira?
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure, does this game allow you to have like a wife and children? Yes, I'm sure I remember having something like that. That was something
I was mentioning next. Talking about wives, before the game, you could either set up yourself to already have a wife, name her, set her looks. You could already set up how old she is. Like, she could be a 60-year-old with an 18-year-old wife. The game doesn't care. You can be like, oh, these are my children, or, which is a lot more fun, you just set up like you have a girlfriend in a game or a wife, and then there was this little very exciting button called "Have to Wish for a Baby," and accidentally 9 months later you would get the message, "Your wife gave birth to a boy or a girl."
It's
And
New
later
Gen
on,
Day.
and later on, here comes the brilliant part. Later on, it would show like on what school system the boy would go in, if he's interested in football, or the girl. If he was old enough, later he would come into your youth academy and stuff like that. You could buy here. They had one of the most useless things. You could buy shares of clubs in the game and sell them later on for more
I would
money.
love to do that in FM.
No, it's absolutely lovely to do. You could buy cars, and they were all Nissans because there was like a sponsorship deal. You could buy just buy houses. You could buy go-kart track. Just like useless things you could buy that don't give you a benefit in the game, but like it's nice to have because you would get like.
It'd be nice to do something with all the money that you're earning, because
You
you
know,
earn
like
millions
that's
of
something
pounds during
like
your
in
career.
Football Manager and Sega, like
doing
you
this.
get money and you can't do anything. But like in EA's Football Manager, you could either buy like luxury goods or stuff, or also in an alternative, you could give your current club money, especially if you're like, I don't know, you earn a lot of money because you managed Real Madrid, Manchester, and then you go to like a smaller club and you have like 11 million in the bank. You want like a certain player your club can't afford. You could give that club the money, and then with that money buy that player.
That makes sense.
It would be nice to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like also I liked a lot more like you could name your child when it was born, like not like in the Sega Football Manager where it just gives like a random name. You could call it Philip Jr. Or something. Also, I always felt like in like the Football Managers from Sports Interactive that I always play, it was very linear in which clubs are good and like stay good. It's like always the same teams being good. While in the EA one, I had the save where the Offenbacher Kickers were suddenly an established Bundesliga team, similar like Mike said in his Football Manager 13 save. And I think it has something to do with 2013. It seems like not long ago, but like these big money deals weren't like very common in 2013.
Yeah,
Well, there's been YouTubers who have done like went on holiday for 500 years in Football Manager like 2020, and PSG have won the
every year except like
League One
except
every
like five where Monaco wins.
Yeah,
that wouldn't happen in the EA one actually, and it's also
in
like
my save, like I'm like 4 seasons in. PSG's only won 1 title, and Poch is still there.
Who's won the other 3?
Monaco. I think Monaco's won all of them.
But like I said, you could buy like shares of clubs if you're able to buy shares of that club, like Barcelona, like Dortmund.
I don't know if you'd be too young for this, Domi, but what's the other German? There's the other German. If I say Football Manager, I want to say something like Anstos Manager or something.
Anstos, no, I'm too young for that. That's Lucas.
Yeah, that's one maybe for Lucas.
Lucas is a bit older
you
than
can, like,
me.
match fix and things like that.
Yeah. You could. Like we had in Germany for like a time. You had like really fun Football Managers. I remember like
it's like the best version of FIFA is the one where you could do a deliberate foul and you could dive.
Yeah,
I think you could dive in This Is Football quite a lot, and you'd look like a ballerina.
The fun thing about the EA one, you wouldn't want to have the EA one play with like the match day engine, because that would be just FIFA 07 engine. Even in 2013 it was FIFA 07 engine. But if you play like text-to-text mode, you would have stuff like, oh, your player got sent off because he called the referee a see you next Tuesday. And then you would get like, essentially for calling the referee a name, or like he would like in a scramble punch another player.
Language.
And like in your message then later you get like, oh, your player he got suspended for 8 games. Like they would get like hefty suspensions for like the really stupid stuff, which doesn't happen in Sports Manager's Football Manager, probably because it doesn't really have a text-to-text thing. It says the 2D or the 3D mode, and I don't think Sports Interactive wants you to see like a player like having a skirmish on the field and then a player punching another player.
I remember on
we used to have deliberate elbows and stuff. That was great.
Yeah, no, there are also deliberate elbows, and players could later on get suspended if like the Football Association saw that, because it's pre-video assistant, obviously. If they later on saw him deliberately like doing like an elbow or something to a player, they would later on be like, oh, he's now suspended for 4 games because we didn't see it. You would have rainouts a lot more frequently, and you would get like a message, oh, we can't play because the field is an absolute mess. So little things like that, which were like really fun. You would have like get messages like, oh, this player he's not doing mentally well at the moment because his wife left him and stuff like. You would get like, oh, these 2 players they are having a bit of friction between each other because one of the players niched a sponsorship deal of the other one. Like you would get like these little, really like minor things that I kind of still miss in the Sports Interactive one. Not saying it's
one of my favorite recent Football Manager things was one of my players who was 16 injured his calf driving his car. I'm like, you're not old enough. What are you doing?
But also, like, talking about like potential of players, like if you play a player, he will always get to his potential in the Sports Interactive one. That's at least the impression I had.
Yeah.
In the EA one, if you play the player and your team has a bad season and that player has a bad season, they will, because they didn't do talent as like a stat from 0 to 200.
I don't think that's strictly true with Sports Interactive, because there's players you can play every game and they don't improve.
Yeah, no, but there's also players that are going to be very good every game. That's mainly what I mean. Because, you know, in Sports Interactive, there's a stat for his ability from 0 to 200, potential ability.
Well, I feel like in this more recent version of the game is like there is definitely like different versions of the same player. Whereas like before, they'd always kind of develop the same.
Yeah, no.
Regardless
this player from Brazil always
in the EA one, you wouldn't have like a certain number to that player. You would have star ratings
variable.
From like 0 to 5 stars, and then there was 4.5 stars, like the Meltzer scale essentially. And like if you had a bad season, you would get like after the season the message, oh, this player has had really like a young player. He had a really disappointing season. He now has 2 talent points less because he had a disappointing season. He's 21. He's not really a 9 out of 10 talent anymore. He's more like a 7 out of 10 talent, if anything. So they would incorporate that player stats in general, because they do the FIFA thing of having the stats 0 to 99. If your player was in form, he would temporarily have +2 overall points. Or if he was absolutely in no form, he would have like -2, -4, something like that.
One of the things I always thought was quite interesting with the EA games was, I remember it was back on, I think it was on 2004 or 2005, is you could connect the EA Manager game
to the FIFA game. I actually have that.
It was at FIFA Fusion, I think. It was a thing I remember. I never played it because I didn't have.
I only had the football. I only had Football Manager for the PlayStation 2.
Wasn't it called Total Sports Manager?
Yeah, EA Sports Total Sports Manager. And then,
like I said, it's like things like that. I had like one ridiculous season with Bayern Munich where Mandzukic scored 68 goals in 34 games. He was like just every game out there scoring 3 goals. You could actually go and have feuds with national team managers because they're like, oh, I want that player for this nonsense friendly. And you go, no, I'm not giving you that player for nonsense friendly. And that manager would like either then start like not nominating players of you anymore, which would lead that, like, for example, you piss off the English manager, and then suddenly the English national team won't nominate players of your team anymore if they're English. So English players were less likely to sign for your team than going on, which I really, really like. It's like small things. I think they did better, but there are also things Sports Interactive does a lot better than the EA manager. It's just if we could have the best of both worlds.
If only.
Right. We're going to rank some sports.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. Because in brackets it says all brackets good sports, but that is still a debatable thing with the list we're going to debate.
I think we'll go one by one and then.
Okay, so let's see what we got.
This is a very American.
The top tier. I'm not really sure what.
Can we go from like left to like right in the like start with tennis? Oh,
that's not tennis. That's badminton.
That's badminton.
I didn't see the little.
I used to play badminton.
That's a shuttlecock.
Is it a shuttlecock?
I used to play badminton. Objectively, the best racket sport.
It's
argue that. I think that's a fairly accurate.
Let's go around the room first. Let's start with badminton. Arn, where would you put badminton on this list?
Badminton, for stars, what is the S tier?
That's a good tier.
That's like super tier.
Yeah.
So we've got like an A to D in terms of grades, and then there's like the.
You could add an F for like, this is the really.
So like A tier is like this is great, but then S tier is like this is like really great.
So S is like S is good. S is great. A is good. B is okay. C is and D is shit.
Can we add like
you can change it if you go to the I think you can change it if you go to the cog on the right hand side.
These all look a bit American to me, but there we go.
Can we add an F tier for like sports we all combinedly hate?
Yeah.
There we go. He's done that there. So
I can just do it like that, and or just move this one down.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay,
there you
go. A B C D
F.
There is no E.
But S here just doesn't mean anything to me. So.
Okay, so shuttlecock, badminton.
I would say that to go to bat for badminton. Badminton is a very easy sport to play. It's good fun. I played it a lot when I was in college.
Played a lot during my A levels in sports.
Yeah, when I wasn't doing work, I just played badminton. So I'd say badminton's a good one.
So where are you putting it then?
I think let's do for now. Do it as a B, but it might move up depending on other things. That's just me. But if anybody else wants to disagree, we'll go.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think badminton either goes B or C.
C? Where you see it? Okay, fair enough.
That's just me.
I don't see it as an A, to be honest, but like solid B.
What's the next one?
Archery.
Archery.
I thought it was darts, and I was going to go on a rant. No. You all disagree.
I don't think we have darts.
This is an American list.
This is American.
There's darts in America.
Because swimming is in it.
But I have a hot take on archery. Archery is a goat.
Fun fact on swimming later when we are at swimming.
It was great when it was on Superstars.
I like watching archery. I've done a bit of archery. It's great. I feel like archery is like a top tier.
I think I've done archery before, so I'll agree.
Is it like an A?
I've had a go at archery.
Arrows. Yeah. How awesome is that?
You're basically Hawkeye.
I mean, it's
like Hawkeye is not a superhero. It's just a dude with good skills.
I think that's
volleyball.
That's why I like him.
Volleyball, another thing I played a lot at college.
Never played it in life.
It says Wilson on it, like the one out of Castaway. So I think that is a volleyball.
I played a little bit because in my A levels we had to do essentially all sports a little bit. We played a little bit of like all sports that aren't like these typical British sports like rugby or cricket. Those like colony sports. How I like to play it because I play mostly all around the colonies and England. Without like the formation here, but like they're not really played in like Germany. I think volleyball is a good sport. I wasn't good at it, therefore I didn't like playing it necessarily, but I rated as at least B.
I'm going.
Also, I enjoy watching beach volleyball when the women are playing, but that's just me.
You're a big old pervert. So
Oh,
He's
thank
single,
God we're
folks.
on this already.
We all have already agreed that I'm a little bit of a football pervert.
I'm a volleyball player.
A volleyball pervert as well.
Uh,
I don't dislike volleyball.
I have no strong opinions on it, apart from the fact I enjoyed playing it. But that was about it.
I feel like volleyball is a C.
I think it's C, yeah.
I think everyone's going to C on it.
Boxing.
Boxing?
I did one charity boxing fight and lost.
I like-
so I'm gonna put
I
in
like-
the F.
Boxing,
Just
but
because you lost.
it's
Yes.
completely fixed. So no.
Yeah.
It's a sport that's
Boxing is
become.
trash.
It's a sport that used to be good and used to be entertaining, and then money has taken over it, and now it's
would
just.
say-
I think it's crap, but I do enjoy it.
I think boxing has the worst fans
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
of any sport.
Well,
Darts.
Oh, worse than
Goodness.
well, but the darts crowd and the boxing crowd is one and the same now.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Sweet Caroline have a punch up.
If you want to have like a good crowd of like a darts crowd and probably like boxing similar, you have to go to like WDF these days where like everyone is very respectful of the game and you don't boo legends like Steve Beaton just because he plays a woman.
There we go. Right, what we got next?
Nobody likes
Rugby.
boxing.
Rugby.
Boxing with the aim is to beat someone until they're unconscious. I mean, it sounds fun when you put it like
I mean,
that.
you can also outpoint.
You can win on. You can win on decisions after
Yeah.
always pounding that ass.
APA.
So rugby, how do we feel about rugby? I know Mike quite likes rugby. I don't.
I love rugby because I don't know. I like club rugby. I love club rugby. Really don't have much love for international rugby. International rugby is an elitist, horrible. There's a glass ceiling in Europe. It's just a boys' club. I hate international rugby, but club rugby, absolutely love it. Hence,
I feel like rugby is the kind of sport where before they go out to play, they're just slamming each other's dicks in the door.
I think so, yeah. And that's just the
International,
fans. So.
international rugby has the type of fans that would piss in a cup and then drink it, so it can go in the F category for me.
I see what Mike's saying about club rugby is definitely better than international rugby.
I would say
we could probably slide it into the D there.
I think D
Like they slide their dicks into doors.
into pint glasses. Yeah, I think very good, strong drinking culture. Very respectful. There's never any aggro, which is quite nice. Which I like. But
It's just the Six Nations. It's just when it comes down to the Six Nations and stuff like that.
Given the choice, I would definitely rather watch volleyball.
Yeah,
Okay, but
Especially women's volleyball.
We've established that. Okay.
we have natation.
we have swimming next.
Swimming.
I was about to say something about swimming. My mother is, as all three of you might know, from East Germany.
Was she doping?
No, here's the part where that story takes off, though. She was a very good swimmer at a very young age.
Oh, she was definitely doping.
No, she declined to go to like that next level because she didn't want to dope.
Yeah.
So hence, and also because she had like Western family from the west part of Germany, the good part, essentially the one that still exists. She wasn't like later on allowed to like have certain degrees, which is like very sad about East Germany. But my mother at a young age was a really good swimmer and could have gone on into that Olympic program that East Germany had for swimmers. But she didn't because she didn't want to have all that doping stuff.
I think
She was looking for freedom.
Yeah, she was looking so long.
Swimming is relatively short, though, Mike. Which
swimming in the Olympics is very boring because you have I've been to the Paralympic swimming.
Happy
twice,
New Year, by the way.
I like
guys.
that.
It's not New Year for you.
Happy New Year in Germany.
Happy New Year in Europe.
Happy New Year in Germany.
Continental Europe.
Yes, continental Europe.
Where the bulk of Europe is.
I like. I did go to the Paralympics swimming when it was in London, and it was fun, but it was just it was like I was there for like 3 hours, and it was just like okay, they're going to swim 3 times across the pool now. Then they're going to swim 2 times across the pool now. No interest in it from here. It's very boring.
See,
I mean, it doesn't really have any kind of redeeming
I
qualities,
wouldn't
really.
say it's an F
I
tier,
mean,
but I would say it's a D for me.
It's not going to make the top thing. I
I
mean,
think
Taking
let's
part,
face
like,
it.
actually swimming is fun, and water slides are fun.
yes.
If we're talking about
Let's
swimming at tropical islands in Brandenburg, then great. But
I've been
I
there.
think
over here for water polo.
I
but
think it's D. I think it's a
that's-
D category.
what's
yeah.
your opinion on water? On
water, don't like it.
yeah,
Don't rate it.
Cycling
That's
next.
cycling. I love cycling. rock
I hate
cycling.
cycling.
My favorite sport to watch on TV.
I'm
Wow.
giving you an explanation why I hate cycling. First of all, doping. Second of all, when I was
Germans
a
aren't very good at
little
it.
when I was a little young domie, every fucking day, 5 times a week, I had to cycle to school.
Well, that's
That's not a
not the
sport.
sport of cycling. That's taking part in cycling.
Listen, for like
I take the train into work, but if they did train racing, I would definitely watch it.
like I did that for 6 years, and from that point on, I in the deepest darkest place of my heart have a disdain for cycling and bicycles.
I genuinely thought this story was going to go with when I was a little dummy. I wore my yellow Live Strong Lance Armstrong thing.
Oh,
No,
And then
because
he-
we
and
had
then-
Lars
and then he got
Ulrich.
caught doping, and I was like, "Nah, I can't be doing this
Damn
anymore."
We
you.
had Lars Ulrich. We weren't the biggest.
The guy from
Lance
Metallica.
Armstrong fans.
No.
No, cyclists.
I really like cycling, especially on television, namely because it's about 4 hours long on the TV, which is great because you can just fall asleep in front of the telly. Especially when it's like the Tour de France, you get wonderful scenery. And usually, if you're watching the Tour de France, the commentator, like when it's a bit boring, he'll just say, "By the way, here's a recipe for a cassoulet," and they talk about like recipes and things like that. So that's why I quite like Tour de France. So
it kind of
I'm
looks like velodrome kind of
not a big
style.
fan of velodrome.
Yeah,
would
no,
also
I
say
don't like that at all.
a live event, being at the finish of a cycle race, because I've been to loads and loads of actual live cycle stages, and it's cracking. It's great fun when they're coming up the mountain and like the tension's building. Love it, absolutely love it. I would say it's definitely, for me. It would be an A or a B, but that's me.
I'm gonna say, I'd probably go B. I do enjoy it. It's always fun when there's a crash.
God,
Oh god, yeah, there was a lot of crashes this year though.
What was that about the one woman having out the sign and causing a mass crash?
She got
Didn't she
put
get
in
I
banned
think that
from
was
like?
great banter.
I'm putting it in the B tier, but like that could be up for debate here because
I'm happy to
clearly
reevaluate.
clearly anti.
Tennis.
Next up is tennis.
I hate Wimbledon because it's sport for people who don't like sport, and people who are like, "Oh, I love Wimbledon when it's on." Like, yeah. So I'm Phil Leggett. I don't think we get Phil Leggett in the UK. We have Chris Boardman, who's the big man over here. But
I thought that
have
was like
former
Phil
We-
Leggett was like some kind of.
We in Germany have that one dude that also commentates every boxing event on Eurosport, every darts event on Eurosport, every snooker event on Eurosport. He just does every sport.
Eurosport does that though, because they have over here. We have Martin Haven, who commentates on cycling, winter sports, and yeah, it is literally that. But it's good fun when it actually does arrive. He does winter sports, cycling, and like motor racing, like Le Mans and things like
I
that.
need to get my head out of the gutter.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what's next?
So tennis.
Anyone like
Tennis. You said you don't.
I hate tennis.
Okay. I like tennis.
I like tennis, considering that Germany had quite a good guy who's now unfortunately a bit broke, called Boris Becker.
I like
Are
tennis.
we
when
rating this on how
won.
good Germany is at it?
No.
No, because I'm fairly convinced we have a good history in boxing, but I mostly agreed in putting it in an F tier.
I think tennis goes in the C category.
Yeah.
You probably do. Like tennis when it's good is really good, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't do that very often.
When Wimbledon does come on, I know Mike says, "Oh, people go, I don't like Wimbledon.
Wimbledon's
I like
so
tennis
much.
Wimbledon."
On the
I
next
do
one, we
like
gotta
when
say
there's an
A,
upset,
right?
though. I like when there is an upset, like or something really kind of quite dramatic happens. At the US Open or at Wimbledon, I don't occasionally watch the Australian Open, but I do watch Roland Garros.
I like Roland
Yeah,
Garros. I like
you actually get like rallies and stuff on clay, whereas like on grass, it's just whoever can hit the ball the hardest on the serve, and then there's your winner.
The French Open is the best tennis tournament because obviously those are the rallies, but also visually it's stunning. I love the clay going up like that. But
the Arthur Ashe
everything
or the Arthur Ashe when they do the US Open is quite stunning to look at when they do the night games there.
Do you remember when they did the blue clay?
Yeah, that 1 year. That 1 year where like everyone who usually was good on clay was now shit on clay, and Roger Federer won it, who usually isn't very good on clay.
He did it for like the Spanish Open or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted to revolutionize tennis.
Tennis apparently has the most enjoyable sounds.
I mean, if you're yeah,
Anyway.
I mean,
Bowling.
A.
Bowling.
Mainly
Dave
for
Jones-
Oberhausen
Dave
Open
O'Neill
in
says
my-
F tier.
I like bowling.
A. Mainly
Oh.
for the Oberhausen Open, it's an A for me.
It's an A. Yeah, let's put it at the top. There we go.
Golf.
Dave O'Neill is disappointed.
I like.
In
I
case,
like golf
by the way,
because-
that you hear a lot of like bangs in my background, it's because it's midnight over here in Germany, and even though we couldn't buy and sell fireworks, some people apparently went to Belgium, Poland, and all those places to buy fireworks. So they're going off right now.
I
Plenty of
would say
munitions in the row.
How's 2022 so far?
Shit.
he's hanging about
Not
with
gonna
us, so
lie.
I'm quite offended.
I mean that's good, but like if I put my life on face value right now, it's still shit.
I would.
So what you're saying, Domi, is that overnight they've remilitarized the Rhineland.
We're gonna take back what's ours.
Yeah, okay.
That is also
Oh, dear.
a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep quiet on that
Yeah,
one.
let's stop.
Right.
Eddie, I feel like, is the golf expert because he lives in Golfland.
Yes.
Because there's more golf courses in Scotland than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah,
Play
there
golf.
is.
Someone want
It's-
to teach me golf?
It's it's a great sport. It can kind
like
of
crazy golf.
sometimes take up.
I
It
like
will take
crazy
up most of your day if you go and watch it live, but it
I
has.
can't think of anything more boring, to be honest,
Yeah.
than to watch golf.
I like when we
When you
win
get
the
pissed.
Ryder Cup and pace the Yanks.
When the Ryder Cup is on, it's quite fun because
But I only
then
like
you-
it when we beat the Americans.
I'm a big Team America fan. I hate the English.
Yeah.
I hate. Sorry, no, I hate the English.
The
I hate
Europeans.
Team Europe. It's just such they farce it up every year. That year they had Nick Faldo as captain, and he had the names of the players he was gonna put in pairs on the back of a cigarette packet or something like that. It's just
That's
he was
brilliant.
just such a dumb twat. And America's had
Alright,
faults
you
as well.
swing
They
it.
put,
They're in the pub. They're having a pint. They're going like, well, who's going to play together? Has anyone got any paper? No.
Benson and Hedges.
Give me a pack of Bensons. I'm just going to write it on the back. What's wrong with that?
Team America's had its problems as well. Like they put Tiger and Mickelson together, and they do not get along. Tiger's pretty poor in team play when it comes down. I think he was pretty poor overall in the Ryder Cup, but I'd probably say it's a C. Because I enjoy it, but again, it's all about what you're. Again, it depends on the golf course. It depends on
I think in
the tournament.
it's a bit of a again, it's a very elitist sport.
Yeah.
That's what I
most
dislike
of these-
because I'm not part of the elite.
If it was crazy golf, it'd definitely be an A.
Crazy golf's fun.
I think crazy
Well,
It
golf
was listen.
probably.
If you put a
Normal golf.
disc in front of the word, then yeah, definitely A. But like,
What disc
I'd,
golf?
I'd say C, but I'm willing to have people
C
vote
for
it.
crazy golf.
I'll
C
put
for
it in the middle, but only because of crazy golf.
It's C
What
for
is
crazy
this
golf.
sport?
I've played that. That's the thing where you have the you have to like bounce the tennis ball off the thing.
Oh, we saw that once on.
I don't know what it's called though.
What did we do always in the Discord?
No,
what did we call it in the
Grandstand.
Grandstand? Yeah, we watched it once on Grandstand.
Spike ball. I played it. I didn't really enjoy it. So.
Can't believe those fireworks.
I remember.
You do me.
I remember Arn having a rant while we watched that because one guy wore his cap.
Sorry, my phone's ringing.
Because one guy wore his cap the other way around, and he was like, "Oh, yo, twat! You know, if the sun is shining in your face, whatever."
You would reckon that the co-host of Arn Eddie would have some professionalism and put his phone on silent.
Yeah. So Spike ball, yeah. I've played that. I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. I played it on the beach in Southampton.
See, some of the sports that America shows on television, I've realised are just so wild. Like, I was sitting watching World Tag Chase.
But they do that at the York Hall.
And it was like, welcome back, professionalism.
Sorry about that. That was my wife. She was wanting to know something. So apparently it's spike ball.
So did you tell her it's called spike ball? Yeah.
Did you tell her it was called spike? Oh yeah.
There's a sport.
I think F because I've played it and it's rubbish and it's not really a sport. That's like a game. That's not.
We tried watching it and it was rubbish. So
put that in the F column.
Also, you had a rant about caps and wearing things backwards. So
yeah. You just click on the right window. There we go. Spot F. Track and field is very.
Mike, what's your opinion on track and field?
I love it. I used to do athletics, but I like track and field. I used to do a lot of different sports and that. Watching it, kind of a bit less exciting now that a lot of the big stars have kind of stopped. So there's no Bolt anymore.
Dwayne Chambers.
Yeah, there was a lot of like there was a big. I think there was a golden generation where there was lots of really great stars. You had Mo as well and things like that. Not so much now. So I like Italy won the 100 meters. What's that all about?
Yeah, the Euros.
It should either be America or Jamaica who wins the 100 meters. It shouldn't be anybody else. Maybe Canada. So yeah, no, I'm going to go for C at this point.
I have a controversial track and field opinion, and that is that 100-meter runners should be allowed to take whatever drugs they want.
I think that should be the rule. In my opinion, that should be the rule for every Olympic sport. To be fair, let's see how far the human body really can go.
Yeah, get them juiced up.
I think at the Olympics, everybody sends like 50 athletes, and then at the opening ceremony, every athlete draws a sport, and then they have to go and compete in that sport.
Or here's another idea.
So Usain Bolt turns up, but he's got to play table tennis.
Oh, Usain Bolt.
You know how like
unlucky.
You know how like you watch like for example the 100-meter race, and you're like, oh, this fifth place guy, look how shitty he is. He's a second off like the first place guy. Have like one trained normal dude in the competition just to see how fast these guys really are, or how far they can really throw compared to like a normal human being. I think just to give viewers a little bit of perspective.
We'll send you over. You can compete.
And I'm like bottom tier human being.
So track and field, I kind of see as a C or D. I'd say.
I would actually go for D at this point because really running and jumping is the most basic of human activities.
I enjoy watching it though, because you kind of flicks between one sport and another, and you have like a bit of pole vaulting in there.
It's a bit of it's like a grazing platter of sport, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think C is fair.
Wrestling.
David Starr had that tattooed on his leg. He had that tattooed on his leg. So,
water polo.
Water polo.
It always looks fun.
My dad used to play water polo.
I've never seen a single.
It's good. It's a good laugh. It's basically the problem is that all the exciting thing is underneath the water. So really watching it
like sharks.
Well, no, it's just that they're kicking and punching underneath the water. Literally, they're like grabbing, kicking, and punching. You can't do that. So, I mean,
Really cameras underneath the water.
I would probably say it's a C, possibly B. But it is certainly let down by the lack of viewing.
I just don't think I've ever watched water polo.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a movie about like Hungarians playing Russians in water polo about like a big scandal in like the 1970s?
I'm gonna say I'm not really gonna comment because I've never seen it before. So
That's the thing. We haven't actually seen it. Should we just leave it on the bottom?
leave on the bottom.
Let's leave it on the bottom.
Or we put it just in the middle because no
Wow.
one has seen it.
I don't think we can have an opinion on something that nobody knows.
We've
what
not
it is.
seen.
Mike has seen it.
Yeah, I've seen all of these sports.
The worst thing that can happen to you in water polo is literally drown. You can drown playing golf. You just fall into a water hazard.
You
Can
can
be
get your hand,
eaten by a crocodile.
you get your hand bitten off by a crocodile.
You can get bullied by playing spikeball.
You should do.
Yeah. Also
Basketball.
for wearing your cap backwards, apparently.
Basketball.
I like basketball.
Yeah, me too.
I like basketball. I think it was the whole college March Madness.
Yes, we enjoyed March Madness.
That was cool. That was very cool. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed. I think The Last Dance helped a lot of people enjoy basketball.
Yeah. I
March.
literally haven't watched the whole game of basketball before watching The Last Dance, and now I watch some.
I'm currently enjoying the Chicago Bulls playing basketball at the moment because they're actually doing
a
quite
new,
well.
With a new trio, the Balzac.
The Balzac.
I think it's a bit.
I like how basketball
Needs
is
to be.
very international.
Yeah.
It's probably the only. I think it's one of them outside of soccer. It's probably the most international one.
Probably.
If the Americans can stop cheating when it comes down to the Olympics and sending NBA players and just go back to sending college players, that would be great.
They gotta send them because in '88 they didn't win gold.
It's the whole idea of okay, you didn't win gold in '88, so you decided in 1992
Send
to
Jordan,
send
Barkley, Johnson,
Jordan, Magic Johnson. You basically send a dream team.
Hey, at least they took Christian Laettner instead of Shaq in that year.
Well, I think the best players should always play in the Olympics. So, I don't know. That's my view.
But
I
I
get
like
that.
basketball, especially because in Germany we had this good guy for like.
We'll
a
probably
period
do
of
another
time.
March Madness bracket again, won't we?
Ping pong.
Arn?
Yeah, did I win that? I
Don't
came
know.
close to winning it.
Uh,
Surprisingly close, so I didn't know what was going on. So.
Forrest Gump's favorite sport, ping pong.
I like it because I played it a lot in summers in the Netherlands, like stated previously. B.
Played it.
I rate
I
that.
enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it because it's one of those sports everyone can play it.
I like that
you
everything that we're
don't
rating highly, like anyone can play it.
Yeah, I think
Except
that's
for
what a
archery.
good sport is.
Anyone can
Though,
play archery.
like something archery.
If you have the equipment.
yeah. But like, I think that's what a good sport usually is. Something everyone can play. Table tennis, I would say, is like it's like tennis, but a little bit less posh.
To go back to archery, it's on the same tier as bowling. If there was archery alleys, that'd be cracking.
Yeah,
I think there are.
Yeah, but like if that was like a thing, it's like you had bowling, but you also had archery like in the next room. That'd be great. Love it. Be all over that.
So I think table tennis, ping pong should go.
B. I say B at least.
B.
Yeah, I'd say B.
I can
Some
agree with
lovely
you.
memories playing.
It's
table
high.
tennis in my
It's
childhood.
very high.
NFL, American football.
Well, NFL, I would say F, but American football as a sport, B or C.
Yeah. I have a friend.
I hate the
actually-
NFL. So.
I have a
Is
friend.
that
actually-
because you're the resident XFL fan?
The problem is, I have the NFL. No, I wouldn't say NFL is an F. That's unfair. But I think NFL is too perfect a sport. Everything is so down to the millimeter, and there's so few mistakes. At the top level, there's so few mistakes. I find that it's just so bloody boring.
I'd like to watch like the non-league version of.
You'd want the
NFL,
Canadian
the
Football
XFL.
League or the
The
college
beauty in
football.
art is in imperfection, and that's what I loved about the XFL is that you had brilliant players like PJ Walker. Likewise, also with college, but I still think XFL I liked more because I still think college football in a way is still quite the same.
College football, the thing with college football is you're going to get results where you're going to get blowouts. You're going to get teams that are winning 50-0.
Yeah, whereas the XFL was brilliant because it was level, but you had excellent players like PJ Walker who, brilliant.
Here's the Roughnecks
playing against Philip Dome, and it's like. And no offense, but like you're not PJ Walker.
No.
So,
fun fact: I have a friend
so everyone looks better.
A friend of mine who I did my A levels with, who I still have contact with, is actually playing for the European League of Football right now. He plays for the Cologne Centurions, who were in the semi-final last year. And he had a game where he had 2 sacks, and the stuff gets televised. 2 sacks.
He sacked the quarterback. He hits the quarterback.
Yeah. I like football since starting watching it roughly before Super Bowl 50.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it like B or C.
I think C.
I think, the thing with the NFL, I kind of just find British, / European NFL fans, not everybody, but I do find quite a few of them are very very cringeworthy. I don't include you in that.
But thank you.
I mean, I'm not when talking about my Broncos.
When you go to a thing and it's like, you got these people in New York Jets jerseys, and they're like talking about it, and then they're like, someone says something, it's like, well, you would say that as a Broncos fan, and I'm like, I think it's probably the same way. I think if I went into a bar in America and I saw loads of people wearing Barcelona shirts, I'd be like, oh, okay, really? I don't know. I think that
I get that. I think
the whole British NFL fandom thing is a bit cringe, but
I think it's ever since they finally decided to do games in London and in the UK, I think it's taken off massively. I think it's good for I say I enjoy NFL and I've enjoyed it since I think kind of as growing up. And I get the kind of there are some people and there's every fan base has a cringy side of it.
I do realize I'm saying like, look at you, the state of you for enjoying something, but I don't mean it that way.
But I get what you mean.
That's Arn when he sees people trying to enjoy wrestling in the year 2021, 2022.
It's an embarrassment, lads.
Enjoying something,
I think either B or C for football. American football.
I want to watch some college football just to watch something.
It's right now. I'm watching the Bama game right now. Well,
you've watched
beautiful gentleman.
You watched Red Zone recently, didn't you? Again, Arn?
Yeah, I quite liked it because there's no adverts and you just get the highlights.
It's like soccer.
Yeah, but like I was saying to Eddie the first time I tried to watch it, it was just there was too much going on. But then I was also talking to Eddie at the same time, so I was stuff happening everywhere. It's like it was kind of hard to follow. But then, like watching it a couple of weeks ago, I quite liked it.
I think you would like college football because it is that room for error. There's a lot of room for error with the teams.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Perfect. The game has, it still has problems in terms of like fouls being called and stuff like that, and the referee actually explains why they're calling a foul or why there is a flag on the play, which I like because it's good to know. But there's still kind of human error.
I would like actual football, as in soccer. I would like them to be mic'd up, and I want to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because half the time I have no idea what decision they're making and why they're making it.
They have that in rugby.
Yeah.
Talking about
but rugby sucks.
Football is on the cards next, everybody.
Football.
I think we can all probably, being football fans, could probably say it's going to be an A tier or a B tier.
Is it though?
B.
I would say B. Realistic. Is it like on the same level of like everyone can do it, like bowling?
I think you can because you have like old timers doing like the walk-in football. Football is what you make of it. What
about people without legs?
Without legs.
I mean,
wheelchair
Yeah,
football.
that exists.
yeah, wheelchair football. Same with wheelchair
Football is
basketball.
what you make of it. If you want to watch,
Why?
if you want
Hold
to be
on.
repulsed by football, then watch the Premier League. If you
Don't-
want to
don't
actually enjoy football, then there's plenty of football that you can watch that is fun.
I think Domi is like thinking that the A category needs to be like everyone has to be able to play
No,
it.
I just think like I know we're all football fans. I know we're all huge football fans, but I don't know if like I would put football as like
We'll get a ball next carrot.
the excellence of is football really the Bret Hart of sports?
like I'm going to get a carrot.
As Ricky Martin said in 1998, the cup of life. That's all he said. I can't remember the rest of the song. It's an A tier or B, whichever one.
I say B, to be honest.
I would put it in A to purely put it above American football.
Yeah, I just think it's very.
That's the only reason I put it on. Because,
Can we put American football down to C?
Yeah,
No.
I'm happy.
Football to B.
No, just
Nah,
put
it's-
football as A.
I'm just going to put it in the thing.
Everyone gets excited when a World Cup happens every 4 years. Even if your team isn't there, you get that football fever.
And yeah, that's you speaking as a Scottish person.
We qualified for the Euros this year. I'm really not.
We
I
Germans
really don't
and
care.
English people, we don't know the feeling of missing out, except the English in 2008.
Ice hockey's next, I think.
I
Enjoy
can't tell if that's ice hockey or hockey.
I'm
Yeah,
just going to say hockey.
That looks
in
like a
general.
ball, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a hook stood up.
If it is ice hockey, then I would say A myself personally. but
Yeah, I love
Yeah, ice
big
hockey's
burly men
fantastic.
fighting, man.
Strong drinking culture. Indoors, so it's not windy.
Violent.
Internationally well renowned.
Violent. It's played. There's like more than one good league. In fact, there's lots of good leagues.
There's
That's another thing about about American football is that really there's only one good league, whereas ice hockey is played in like professionally in like 15 countries. You've got
Scandinavia love it.
You've got like two international, like well established international leagues. You have World Cups. You have Champions League tournaments in Europe, domestic tournaments in every single country. I think that's why I like ice hockey more than
great stories as well. You can have
Yeah.
like teams like the Chicago Blackhawks scoring like 3 goals in 19 seconds. Like to win a Stanley Cup. Like it can
Can
get
have the Las
it's
Vegas
exciting.
and
can
like
have the Las Vegas Knights being an expansion team and immediately win the cup.
yeah, just good.
I'd say B or A. I'd probably
think
lean
it's A.
towards A actually.
Yeah.
It's better than American football.
Does this stand up to Dominic's anyone can play it though? Because like I can't skate.
Yeah.
No, I think for ice hockey the excuse to not be in that is it's generally a great crack and it's big
And
men.
you don't have legs, so you can't play.
It's big men going hard against each other.
Well, I'm not a big fan of NHL. NHL I can kind of give or take, but like
The thing is with
Hockey
hockey,
in
like
general is
in
good.
Germany, for example, we have a big hockey league.
DEL is fantastic.
I've wanted to go see
My
the,
local team is
British
playing
League.
a kilometer away from where I live.
Yeah.
Could literally walk
DEG.
over there.
Have you also got the
ISS
Kaiser Penguin?
baseball.
Baseball.
Arn, you've had experience of watching baseball.
Yes,
Me too.
What do you think of it?
it's miles better than cricket, which is like the English alternative, I guess. I don't know, I can see why people dislike it because it's very slow paced.
I think I like the historical. It's got a long history in baseball. I like that. Although I do think it. No, I was going to say I do think it is lacking because there's the whole one big sport league, but I suppose it's also got Japanese league and things like that.
There's the Japanese league. There's the Korean league. I think there's
Yeah.
a Mexican
I actually
league.
watched some Korean baseball a couple of months ago because it was.
We all did, I think, didn't we? With
It
the
was
teddy
just
bears in the crowd.
I like how it is a sport that is again internationally well known.
Yeah.
Um,
Everyone can play it.
again, well, they do like Americans focus on like Little League, like they cover the Little League World Series, and it's like like I like that it covers all ages to play it.
It had Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, big men hitting home runs, being pitchers is always quite fun.
Big sexy.
Big doping, big lot of doping though.
Yeah, like big doping history. Barry Bonds discovering lifting weights and healthy breakfast.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, the home run chase.
Like,
they were both roided up.
Lifting weights and eating healthy breakfast.
I'd say C.
But then it's worse than football.
It is.
Baseball's better than American football.
Well,
At least the same
I
level.
don't agree with that.
I'd say a B for both. I'd probably say B. It's on the same level as American football, just a little bit better.
I think let's go for C.
I'm probably going to put it in the C.
These ones I've never seen.
Baseball, but I would watch it with other people. It'd be fine, but I wouldn't probably sit and watch it on my own. Whereas American football, I probably would.
Yeah.
What is that one with
cross country and then lacrosse?
What is cross country?
Cross country is running. It's running again, but it's running in fields and rivers, and it's what you do It's what you do when your PE teacher doesn't really want to teach a lesson.
I was quite good at cross country. That was my sport.
I was very good at cross country as well. I
wouldn't watch it. I don't think I've ever watched cross country.
I've watched cross country on TV and it's really boring.
Yeah.
I don't think we can put it over C, to be honest.
No, I'd say probably D, to be honest.
I'd probably drop it in the D there. Like, I mean, it's not even that fun to compete in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was just good at it.
Lacrosse.
Isn't that like a really posh sport?
No, I've played.
At least, yeah, you played everything.
I've played everything. That's the problem. I don't mind it, but it's watching it's a bit boring actually. So I'd probably say it's a D.
I have no strong opinions.
Bit of a Yank sport, really. Although it's Canadian, I think, isn't it?
This feels like a posh US private school listed all their available sports. I'm using somebody else's.
I wish I could play bowling at school.
Yeah,
I'd like to play archery at school, to be honest with you.
Archery.
Hey, should we go for some archery after dinner, Tarquin?
Are there high schools that let's do boxing?
In the UK, it used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that the UK has a big boxing history.
It used to be big. You used to box at school in the UK, but not when I was at school.
Arn, what about you?
What, boxing, or do I have an opinion on
boxing in school? Was it still around when you were in school?
No.
Okay.
No, there was no boxing in school. You'd have to go to like a gym.
Because Mike said it wasn't around when he was in school anymore.
Yeah, sports. I don't. Army West Point has a huge boxing. I read that as a huge boxing problem.
Probably the same one. Let's be real. It's the army.
I don't have an opinion about lacrosse to be
or water polo
or water polo.
I think chuck them both in D.
Okay. And there we go. And there, we have ranked the sports.
Yeah, we have ranked the sports. All of them. Right.
Are we missing like big sports there, apart from cricket, which is just boring?
No, I don't think so. It seems everything's all there.
Darts,
yeah.
Darts is an A tier, isn't it?
No, for me personally, yeah, but I wouldn't generally rate it.
I think it's A tier. Strong drinking culture.
I like Mike's rule of what makes a good sport is a strong drinking culture. Let's have some beers and go for the archery. Yeah.
It would improve it.
Hey guys, look how can I hold the archer?
We should go and watch some archery. That's what I'm taking from this.
Let's do some archery.
Let's do no.
We can find somewhere that does archery, surely.
I feel like that's one of the most.
We have to
fun
go. We
things
have to
I've
rejoin
had
the scouts. That's what we need to do.
doing sport was doing archery. It was good times because I got to shoot something, albeit just a target.
Right.
Archery at
What
bowling
else?
pin.
We are heading to 30, just under 30 minutes before New Year.
Hey.
I'm trying to think what else we could do. We could do the
What are
F1
your New
Sporcle.
Year's resolutions?
I don't have any. One of the F1s, we could do the F1 Sporcle quiz with both Mike and Domi.
Oh, sure, yeah.
What is it? What is this? All world
It's
champions? Because
former
I think
world
I can do that
champions.
alone. I think I can do that alone in a very quick manner.
Okay,
Mike,
well, we'll
yours
try and do it without you and see how well we do. How's that? And then you just fill in the blanks.
I think you should do it until you say here
We
quit,
give up.
and
Yeah.
then I take over. I agree with that.
Okay, let's give
And
it a
I'm
go
going to
then.
drink another Ouzo in the meanwhile.
We got to do it in order.
No, I think we
Oh,
with
okay.
Sporcle.
I
we can
could.
do it.
I think I could, but you don't have to. Because it's now a 71-year-old history. I don't expect anyone to know that in order.
It would help if I actually shared the.
It's the
screen.
one thing I'm good at, Mike. Give me that.
Right, here we go.
There it is. There are 72.
Actually, with the team is behind it already.
Okay, so
Thanks for dropping in, Brian.
thank you, Brian. Take care.
Yeah,
Have a good
Brian.
year when it comes.
Have a good New Year.
Right, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, we get 10 minutes on this. So
I mean, there's one name we easily need to put in, and we're all good. Hamilton.
I'll start with Fangio.
Ascari. Ascari.
PK.
Farina.
Hunt.
Hawthorne.
Rosberg.
Oh. I got it.
You get 2 for Rosberg.
Yeah.
PK and Nico.
Stewart.
There's another name where you get 2 for.
Is it Hill? No, you got
Yeah.
loads.
Oh, you
It's
actually
not
get
four
3.
Hill.
I forgot. Phil.
Clark.
Vettel.
Vettel. There we go.
Nigel Mansell.
Alonso.
Yeah, I was actually typing Alonso. There we go.
Villeneuve.
There we go.
Raikkonen.
I stop believing I'm not needed.
Oh, Christ.
1K.
1K.
One N.
No, it's 1N.
Yeah, he's both.
Oh.
No, it's 1K.
Actually, 2K.
Verstappen.
Verstappen. Button.
Button.
Hakkinen.
Hackenen. Lauda. 1980 Jones. Hunt is 76. 78 is Andretti.
Did
Oh,
the
yeah.
lad who was ever
79 is Reutemann? No.
Reutemann never won.
No, he didn't win it, did he? Scheckter.
did the guy who Clay what
Scheckter.
was his
70
name?
for,
Do you
Clay
remember?
Regazzoni never won it, no. You had Emerson Fittipaldi win it 74. Um, 1970 Lotus was
That Brabham.
Jochen Rindt. Oh yeah, Brabham is though, yeah. Jochen
It's
Rindt.
Rindt, but you know.
So we just need one more,
And
which is
the last one is
1967.
the Kiwi guy, Denny Hulme, Hulme.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a clean sweep.
Shall we find another one?
Do that as a Twitch clip.
Clean sweep.
Right, I think that's probably enough for me because it is 22. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we might kind of slowly wrap up, I guess. We've been on for about 2
Yeah, I think
hours.
so. I think so. We've been like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much for watching. If you have, please like and subscribe. Mike and Arn will be back at some point doing the ground softening in the new year.
Yeah, we need to go to some grounds first, which is not happening.
I've done one.
Arn and Eddie will be back at some point in the year.
It should be a lot shorter, the gap between like this and the next one and the previous one and the next one, because of like COVID and stuff.
Yeah, but we wish you all a happy new year when it comes. Domi, we already wish you a happy new year because it's already new year for mainland Europe.
It's 41 minutes in the future.
I know, he's fall in the future. Right. Other than that, take care. Have a lovely new year. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It would help if I had the video queued up, really, wouldn't it?
Don't worry, you don't need to play the video. You can just end it if you want.
Oh,
Just end it.
I'm gonna play it.